Trying to figure out if I have yours up, if I'm... oh, maybe I don't. Okay, hold on. Let's fix that.
All right.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Saturday Morning Cartoons, a Monster of the Week actual play every Saturday, 10 a.m. Central. Now, my mystery solvers, welcome back. I hope you have your fresh bowl of cereal, your topped-off coffee, and welcome. I'm your game master, your keeper, and you've just tuned into the small town of Havens Mill, where the coffee's always fresh at Maggie's Diner and the lighthouse keeps watch over the harbor's rusting boats. This is Monster of the Week, a real, actual play with real players from around the world brought together to solve mysteries, face monsters, and save the day. All with that classic Saturday morning cartoon heart. Think Scooby-Doo meets Gravity Falls, where the stakes are real, but hope always wins in the end. Now, our heroes here are everyday people who discovered that Havens Mill needs a few protectors. Say hello, everyday people.
Hello. Hello, everyday people.
Now, these are folks who will stand up when things get weird, ask the hard questions when adults won't listen, and never give up on what's doing right. Because in the Saturday morning cartoons, the good guys always find a way. So, grab your cereal, settle in, and let's see what mystery awaits us today in Havens Mill. Let's introduce ourselves to our hunters. Players around the table, first and foremost, we have a few returning faces and a few new faces. Let's introduce ourselves. I'll start. I'm Aaron, calling in out of the Twin Cities, Minnesota. Fun fact about me is one of my good friend's sisters did this tie-dye, and it has a D20, which I will not be rolling today since we're playing Monster of the Week, but it is my favorite tie-dye shirt, and I probably wear it too much. I'll put the link for those tie-dyes in the bio down below. I'll pass it off to a regular vet of this at this point. Quag, give us a quick introduction.
Hi, Qua. My pronouns are he, him, calling in from the Bay Area, California. Fun fact about me, I get a lot of flea bites because I'm in trees a lot, and I'm currently very itchy.
Oh, no. I didn't
Yes.
realize there was a correlation between fleas and trees.
Oh, yes, there's lots of nests in trees. It's very unfortunate. Lots of squirrel nests, lots of rat's nests.
Wild. All right, Quag, pass it off. Who's next?
Let's see. Let's go with, I think, Danae?
Hello, I'm Danae. I am calling from Texas. Yeah, I'm new. I'm excited.
Any fun facts
Kinda
about
new.
you don't mind sharing? What's a hobby you like, or the last movie you saw?
A hobby I like. I do pinup. I do 50s, 60s, things like that. We have a charity group that we do. We raise money for different charities and stuff like that.
Pin up for charity. If you've got a link for those, we'll put it in the bio later. Wonderful. Danae, go ahead and pass it off to the next.
I'm going to send it to Piper.
Oh. Hi, I'm Piper. I'm from Illinois, Chicago. And I just got done playing a draw steal game the other night. It was pretty fun.
Draw Steel, brand new. First impressions of the system?
I enjoyed it. It was fun. It was a little bit different from what I'm used to playing, but you know, it was fun. It was cinematic. The group I was playing with was all really chill.
It's very exciting. I'm super excited for that new system. It's definitely one I'm looking to run. Awesome. Our last one here is Pinky. Pinky, a quick introduction if you don't mind.
Hello, everybody. I'm Pinky, and I'm calling in from California. Fun fact this week, I had a really good cardamom ice cream this week, and I'm still thinking about it.
Cardamom ice cream. That's a flavor you don't see very often.
Yeah, it was quite good, so I might go back over the weekend.
What shop did you visit?
It's a local shop around town. They do a lot of like unique flavors. So it was my first time there, so I can't really remember the name, but I remember where it was.
Honestly, the most important part. Can you get back? And the answer is yes. So we can get another scoop of that good cardamom taste. Pinky, you've got the strong responsibility of introducing us to your hunter as well. A returning face from last week. What do we need to know about Ducky the Curse Eater?
Great. So Ducky, yeah, the curse eater, just a guy trying to figure out how his curse eating powers work around town, as he also eats his way through the town. He's a regular at the diner at this point, I think, and I'm not sure if he has menu items named after him yet, but people are equally fascinated and horrified by what he comes up with.
Some very interesting combinations, and certainly keeping the diner a little more afloat than it was before. We circle back to Piper. Piper, tell us what we need to know about Cricket the Spell Slinger.
Cricket is a wonderful little hunter. They use they them. They work at a cafe and use stickers to spellcast. They're a very jovial type character.
Stickers to spellcast indeed. You're gonna love the clue table for Saturday morning cartoons. There's stickers galore. Perfect. Thank you, Piper. Let's turn back to Danae. Danae, what do we need to know about our spooky?
Well, Morgan Sinclair is a descendant of Ezra Miller, who was one of the founders of the town. She owns the Moonlit Margins Cafe and coffee shop and bookstore. And she enjoys when people come in and they just chat with her. And if they need help, she's there for it.
Wonderful, wonderful. The Moonlit Margins, an occult bookstore in the center of downtown Havensmill. And a spooky with good stats and weird. Wonderful. Qua, what do we need to know about Juno, our searcher?
Right, Juno Orozco is our searcher. She's currently moved into town, trying to find out more details about these supernatural events so she can get closer to finding her aunt who has disappeared.
A missing family member has drawn you to this town, but the mysteries that happen herein are what keep you here. We see our searcher, bright, brilliant red hair. Thank you very much, Qua. All right, friends, we're going to flip our sheets over to the backside and connect our hunters. But before we do, we need to know a little bit more about our town. The town of Havensmill is a crusty little barnacle on the edge of the main coastline. In between somewhere and somewhere else, this town is just big enough to have a couple of commodities through the main stretch and thoroughfare. Our downtown has shops all along the main street across from a brilliant central park. The trees, mostly deciduous and with a splash of fall colors from the leaves as they change and turn. We can see as we kind of head towards the side of town that one of the large old historic buildings, the town's namesake, is the historic mill. A brick building, 2 and some change stories tall, its wooden wheels still, and the river no longer pushing its gears. Further along the coastline, where the light of the lighthouse overlooks the bay, we can see a brilliant white lighthouse. It looks like it once had a stripe of red, but that stripe is now just indicated by a upraise, as if somebody has painted another coat of white over the top. You can see last week's adventure to see how that occurred. And then, of course, up on the hill, in a shiny, new, modern dome, we can see the Havensmill Observatory, a beautiful dedication to the sciences in Havensmill, a place where all of the students and parents and all of the assorted stargazers of the town go to see the occasional movie on the big screen inside and to look at the stars and wonder. Now, our hunters are mostly residents, so it should be relatively easy to get us connected, but we're going to flip our pages over, take a look at the history section, and get them all connected together so the roleplay is easy and the game goes smooth. Does anybody have anything that they want to that's jumping right off the page at them? How would you like to connect to another hunter?
I think that if Morgan owns the coffee shop and bookstore, Ducky has probably stumbled into there, ordered a drink or two, and added lots of toppings, and maybe browsed through books to try to get more information about magic and occulty things.
Sounds
Okay.
great.
So, I'll ask you, Danae, what is Ducky's regular order at the cafe? Have you named something after our curse eater yet, with their voracious appetite?
It's called Ducky's Luck.
Ooh. Pinky, what is it? What is Ducky's Luck?
Wow, that's a fun name. I think it's like maybe something like an Earl Grey tea with like cream, cinnamon, throw in some cardamom, whipped cream, chocolate chips, any other toppings that Ducky sees and asks to get thrown in. I think that, he always loves it and thinks that every concoction that is made by Morgan is gonna bring him a good fortune.
Ah, wonderful. So the luck is both in the reception of this and also in payment that you give to the owner of the Moonlit Margins. Excellent. Great. That brings us to Morgan. How is Morgan connected to another hunter in town, Danae?
I think that maybe Cricket and I, we're old friends and we trust each other completely.
Ooh.
So Cricket has seen me, they've seen me use my spooky talents, and maybe they trust me with some of their secrets as well.
Full on giving you like stickers that are magical. They hadn't actually told you they were magical. They just wanted to see what would happen.
Nice. A couple of timed spells just to see how they affect. I love it. I love it. A bit of a dangerous roll of the dice there. Cricket, that's you. How else is our spellslinger connected to another hunter?
Let's bring it on to Juno. Okay. Because you're a new person to town, so I feel like they don't necessarily know you too much, but they do see you around, and like they're constantly just like trying to make you feel welcome. So they'll like give you free shit, like random stickers and like stuff like that. I'm like, here, you look sad.
Juno is sad. She spent way too much money on a painting last mystery, so she has like no furniture in her new apartment.
We get a brief flash of an empty apartment, big painting on the wall.
Can give you a sticker of a couch, and I'm not sure if I'll actually give you a couch. It's just an invisible couch.
Totally talk to Morgan, because up in her attic, she's got all kinds of furniture.
Oh, a couple of antiques. All right, Juno, you can connect us back round. A connection that was made already. Do you want to reiterate it or improve upon it?
I think I'll just improve on all these. I feel like Juno has kind of like just really appreciated Cricket's generosity, even though like, stickers don't replace couches. It means a lot to her. She's still very wary of Pinky, especially after Pinky Ducky. After Ducky murdered someone in front of her. And with Morgan, I feel like because Juno is kind of like an aspiring writer, she's often at either her cafe or bookstore.
Oh, okay. So you come into the bookstore to do some writing. We're all really connected through the seats and tables at one of the cafes in town. It makes a lot of sense. They can be a good third space for a small town such as Havensmill. Wonderful. Our hunters are connected. Is there anything else that's leaping off the page, absolutely needs to be said, and another way that our hunters could be connected?
I do want to say, I don't think that Cricket works at the exact cafe as Morgan. I think that there is a gentle rivalry between the two cafes. It's not an actual one. It's just, people like to joke that they're rivals.
Okay, sounds good.
A barista at the rival cafe. How the turns have tabled. Our intrigue goes deep. Well, my friends, we're connected. We're going to be looking to take our break in about an hour and a half, but if you need to go do something in the meantime, don't worry. We're going to be taking it about 11:45. For now, let's get started and into a cold open. We see. We can see as we pan in and across the town of Havensmill, we can see a high school, and it's one that we haven't spent a whole lot of time at in any of our adventures. Havensmill High School is a strange place. A squat, brutalist little brick building. We can see an enormous statue out front of the school's mascot. On the side of the building, it says "Go Hawks," but the bronze statue that sits out front of the school is of an enormous tarantula hawk. The bug is bigger than a school bus. It stands almost as tall as the building itself, and students sit at its base. They mill around. They wear the school colors, and the logo and mascot is everywhere you look. We can see this angry little hornet-like creature on all the banners and on all of the school paraphernalia. As we zoom in to Havensmill High School, we go through the hallways, checkerboard floors of linoleum, red lockers all the way down, this almost rustish, brownish red. And as we make our way through the hallways, we come to a set of double doors and we push into the Havensmill High School cafeteria. Students are lining up at the serving counter where one Gretchen Baubles, a kindly elderly lunch lady, serves portions from steaming trays. She smiles warmly. Here you go, sweetie. Today's Mystery Meat Thursday. Try something new. She serves a portion of something unidentifiable, gray-brown, to one Tyler Martinez, a sophomore who kind of looks at it skeptically. Tyler says, what kind of meat is it exactly? And Gretchen chuckles. She says, well, it's locally sourced, very fresh. They call it a mystery meat for a reason, my dear. They don't want to give up their secrets. And Tyler takes his tray and walks over to the table. He sits down with his friends, and the camera sort of follows him as he takes a bite of the meat. His expression changes from a skepticism to delight, surprise. And we see as he looks at his friends like, actually, this is like really good. His friend Sarah, a spork, goes across, snags a cube of whatever this gray food is off of his plate, takes a bite. She's like, oh, wow, you're right. I can't stop eating it. And around them, other students are beginning to devour their lunch with unusual enthusiasm. The cafeteria suddenly goes silent with a low murmur of spoken voices and fills with the satisfied of full bellies. Later that afternoon, we can see one Miss Opal. We come into an English classroom. It's in session, and all over the walls we have posters of old movies and books and adaptations, plays. The space is vibrant and full. Miss Opal, a tight bun, a pair of glasses, the little chain dangling down past her ears to hold them in place. Something's wrong. Several students, including Tyler, who sits at the front of her class and usually is an active participant, are staring blankly ahead. Their skin is a little gray. Their eyes have a vacant, hungry look. And Miss Opal says, Tyler, can you tell me what Hamlet means in this soliloquy? Tyler doesn't respond. Instead, he's gnawing on his pencil eraser. Concerned, Tyler, are you feeling all right? And he looks up slowly, his eyes now noticeably duller, and he says, I'm hungry. I'm still hungry. And around the classroom, other students are starting to show similar symptoms. We cut to the nurse's office for our last scene in the open, and Nurse Peterson into the phone says, I need to speak to someone at the CDC about food poisoning. No, this isn't normal. The kids are acting, well, I don't know what they're acting like. Strange? She looks out her window, and we can see as Tyler and several other students are digging discarded food scraps out of the dumpsters outside. Her voice rises in concern. They keep asking for meat. More meat! Raw meat! And then we pan back, and the credits roll. Now, our story begins somewhere across town. First and foremost, we can see that there's actually 3 places in town that serve coffee. We zoom past Maggie's Diner, the little almost Airstream style, kind of smooth corners, big red neon sign on the front, and just down the road, kind of a couple of blocks away, but across from the Central Park, we can see the Moonlit Margins bookstore. Morgan, will you please describe your space and yourself and what you're doing in it?
It's a quaint shop. There's a bottom story where she has couches and chairs and tables, but there's places to read. There's a bar in the front, a pretty big one, because she has all of her, stuff on there to make teas and whatever kind of lattes and things that people want. You go up the stairs and you see books everywhere. Also, a few occult like collections of items. And yeah, it's just a quaint little shop.
And what is our purveyor doing inside the shop? Can you describe yourself and your actions in this space?
Well, Morgan has golden blonde hair, very curly. She wears it pinned up a lot of times because it just gets in the way. She has kind of an olive complexion. She comes from Greek heritage. Her eyes are, she has central heterochromia. So the middle of her eye, there's gold around the pupil. And then as it goes out through the iris, it's different colors. And then around the edge is a darkish, almost cobalt blue.
Interesting.
She dresses kind of gothic, but very fashionable. So right about now, she is probably putting away some of the books that would come in the morning, or checking them to see who ordered what, so that she can give them a call later and let them know that their books have come. And of course, she is sipping some tea.
We can see as you're sipping, we pick up your glass. The little cart next to you has a number of books on it. You pull one from it, open it up. A language that is not English across the first few pages. Diagrams of spells and rituals across some of the early pages. We see you put it back in its place and prepare the shop for your first visitors of the day. And the bell rings as if your actions, it's always when you're busiest that the customer shows up to distract you. We can see a woman step in. She's a little bit bigger. Her shoulders are broad. Her flannel shirt is very very kind of like almost Maine fisherman style, and she's got an apron kind of over the top of her neck and come down. It's a little stained, but it seems clean other than the stains. And you recognized Ella Crust. Ella is a local butcher in town, and she has come here. She steps into the space and sort of looks around. Morgan, I was wondering if you might have any books on the occult? I suppose looking around the store, things are... Well, it seems like a silly question. But my wife's birthday is coming up, and I was wondering if you might have some suggestions on what I could get someone who likes this sort of thing.
Oh, of course, Ella. What kind of thing is she interested in? Is she interested in more like tarot? We have very nice tarot decks. I also have some books on hauntings, local hauntings, witchcraft.
Local hauntings? Well, I don't know. She's not much into ghosts, but witchcraft. Well, I suppose one of those books might interest her. She's always gathering crystals, and we do have a black cat. Do you think that would be a good gift?
Oh, yes, I just got a new one in. Let me grab it for you. And she'll run over, grab the book, and then head down the stairs.
We see as you pull from one of the shelves a book about witchcraft, and the two of you settle down. She asks for a cup of tea, and we see Candy behind the counter. Your staff member running the coffee side of things pours her the tea she wants, and two steaming cups sit across the table as you set a small stack of books for her to peruse. Ella looks at each one in turn and says, "I'm sorry, I don't have a clue what I'm looking at here. What makes for a good book on witchcraft?"
Well, if she's practicing, she might want something with spells. And it'll definitely put, also, I have a friend that might know something about it as well. That could probably, I'm not really a spells person myself. My gifts lie in other areas. But my friend Cricket, they work over at the other cafe. I'm sure they would know which ones were best. If you like, Ella, you can take these books over there and then have Cricket take a look at them, go over them with you, and then you just bring back the one you don't want and pay for the one you want.
Well, that seems like a wonderful deal. Are you sure I can just take these books out of the shop? What if I never come back?
I know where your butcher shop is, Ella. I'll steal all that meat.
Oh, well, don't steal all of it. We're already having a tough enough time getting customers in the door as it is. I mean, Bill's Butchery is really starting to put us out of business. I don't know how the man does it. He's so charismatic, and he just looks like a used car salesman.
I don't like those types. I don't shop there. No, I don't. Well, why don't you come up with a flyer and we'll put it in my window.
And she shakes your hand. We see as she leaves to go and talk to Cricket about which books might be good. In the corner of the room, a used car salesman from down the street who's drinking a coffee huffs and doesn't tip as he walks out of the cafe and bookstore. And we see as Candy just sort of shrugs and look at you, and the two of you share a glance before you head back upstairs to start working on finishing up your daily tasks. We pan away to another part of town. A local restaurant is recently this month putting up a competition for eating an enormous steak, 38 ounces. It comes with the sides of food and a full beverage, and you have to finish it in half an hour. I think we know who we might find at this place. Pinky, can you describe Ducky and what you might be doing at this moment?
Yeah, I think Ducky is signed up for this event. He's pretty excited about it. You would see just him in his yellow sweater. I think he's got like 7 of these for one of the every day of the week. He really likes the color. Casual blue jeans and orange hair. So yeah, he's excited about this.
This is
eating
your Thursday sweater. I see. It's completely different from the other days. I understand completely. What do we see you doing to prepare? You haven't started the food yet. It has just been brought out on a steaming hot plate. What is our curse eater kind of doing to set up?
I think that as we made our way through the crowd, there were other people in the audience, and I think that he, as he walked by people, he pulled their hunger from their bodies so that he could use it.
Nice. Devouring an emotion or a curse of some sort. How fun. We are going to absorb the curse of hunger from a monster, minion, phenomenon, or evil magic. Not quite. So I guess this isn't quite the move, but it is sort of the same thing. What do we see? Are you sniffing these things in? Do you literally consume them in some way?
So as he passes, I think he'll sort of have one of his hands make the shape of a, gun, like 2 fingers out, and he'll sort of make this like slight motion of firing at them. People don't see anything in the air, but on Ducky's other hand, there will be a ring that appears on his finger.
The ring almost looks like the maw of a creature. It has teeth all along both sides of the band that comes across your finger, and as you look down at it, you feel this sense of gnawing hunger in your belly. You set down as the plate is brought out, and we see another butcher. This one sort of part of the advertisement for this local restaurant. We can see Bobbert Franks, the purveyor and butcher of Bob's Butchery. We can see as he comes over with the waiter. He says, "Be careful with that. Now that's a good steak. All right, that's a prime cut." He puts a big hand on your shoulder. Ducky says, "All right. Are you ready, kid? That is the biggest, best steak that this town has ever seen. Don't put it to waste. It'll cost you a pretty penny at market price if you don't finish it. Do you think you can handle the pressure?"
Oh, you can count on me. Yeah, I'm hungry as a cow. I could dive in right away. I guess I wouldn't be hungry as a cow to eat steak. Never mind.
Don't be hungry as a cow. Cows are herbivores, and I need you to be a carnivore right now, kid. And Bobbert, grabs your shoulders like you're a boxer in the corner. He dabs your brow with a napkin. It sort of just, hypes you up. The whole crowd around you starting to get excited as Ducky picks up the utensils. And then you dig in. Can you describe for us your first few bites? Is it a voracious pulling hunger? Do you just vacuum it right up?
I think as Ducky starts, it's sort of slow, and he's just sort of eating normally, but as he gets more and more into it, the pace picks up, and if anybody was looking at his hand, the ring slowly dissolves into his skin, and then he gets more and more hungry, diving into the steak.
Wow. We see Ducky begin to just pick up speed, basically. The single bite that starts it all is a domino that falls, and as each domino takes a subsequent tumble, we can see bigger bites, and then soon the steak just seems to start to disappear. But let's see if you can finish it. Pinky, go ahead and roll to act under pressure for me. Ducky has a +2 to cool.
I got a 14.
14 is insane. That's a set of boxcars. So, on a 14 plus, you do what you set out to do, and I will offer you something extra. You can either have something extra or do what you set out to do to absolute perfection. Which would you prefer?
Maybe let's go for perfection.
Your steak is finished. Post-haste, with no issues, we see as the plate is clean. Even the sauces have been wiped free. And everybody looks up at the clock, and they see that the timer that's supposed to be counting down half an hour has passed less than a minute. This challenge, which has defeated many, many food experts, big eaters, and people who travel country to do things like this, has been destroyed by our curse eater. The crowd is silent all around you. We see them look at each other like, did he just... And Bobbert Franks is just like, "Kid, can I put you in an advertisement? I think I need you for my shop."
Yeah, I guess. Can I get another one? This is all you can eat, right?
And Bobbert faints back. The restaurant, the staff member who catches him in arms nods, and the kitchen starts to scramble. They were all looking at the window watching you eat. We see them put up an enormous, dinosaur-sized steak back on the grill, and the rest of the restaurant just sort of starts talking in hushed whispers as Ducky gets another steak cooked. Bobbert, do you think you can finish a second one? Do you mind if I put this on all my social medias? Finstagram? Beta?
Ducky is just eating.
Already digging into a second set of sides, mouthful, cheeks like a chipmunk packed with goodies. We see our curse eater continue with the challenge, and Bobbert says, I'm gonna go get more steaks, and he runs out of the building, a tiny cloud of dust in his wake. We follow him out through the front doors of the local restaurant. We come out onto the street, and we come across to a cafe. There we see two of our remaining hunters in different situations. It is a busy Thursday morning. Midway through the morning rush, you can see the end of the line, but every once in a while another person walks up, and it's just that sort of inexorable Sisyphean task. Cricket, will you please describe your character and what you're doing here?
Cricket is a young person around like 19 years old. They have vibrant lime green hair, dark skin, lime green eyes that kind of match their hair. They're wearing a lot of like greens with like splashes of like yellow that could almost be a green. It's a lot. They look like they're dressed for a rave, but they're just casually working behind the what's it called? The counter. That thing.
Yeah.
That's the counter. They've got they're currently like whipping up some they're whipping up some drinks for the customers. They pull out a sticker and just kind of like subtly stick it on there and like gives it a little more zing to it. Like they like to add different emotions to like their drinks. So like, and people don't always know that they're giving them like different emotions. But you see they see someone sad, they're like, you know what, you need a little bit of a perk up, and they like add that to them, and they leave a little bit more happy.
They leave a little bit happier. And are you only giving good emotions, or when a rude customer comes up, do we occasionally see a bad?
Oh, definitely. Cricket is they do like to give redemption to people. So like if someone does like piss them off, they will be like, you know what, I'm just gonna give you a little bit of a taste of your own medicine.
Then let's see one of those scenes. A businesswoman walks up, blazer, well-tailored. She has a small briefcase in one hand, a computer in the other. She's actively on a Doom call. There's 3 screens, and you can see other people in the exact same suits. It looks like the agents from the Matrix. They're so similar. And she's just speaking to them as she walks up to the counter. A latte, soy milk, medium size.
He they look over and like point to a sign that says like eye contact and like only phones. They only have this sign up for people like her because they don't mind if people use their stuff like when they're sitting down. But when you're ordering, come on.
She rolls her eyes and says to the Doom call, I'll be right back. Mutes and takes video off and holds the laptop, looks you in the eyes. Was this really necessary?
They look over there and they're like, yes, it's very necessary.
And we see her tap a card and walk away without clicking anything on the tip button. She walks over to the side of where the counter would be picking up the drinks. Cricket, what do we see you put on the cup behind the counter?
They go over behind the counter and like first like they make their order as is, and then like they add a little bit of just like they make it taste like they just she's gonna always feel like she has something like on her shoulder, like it's just gonna feel that way, and she keeps like messing with her shoulder all day, and she's like, that's what you get.
That's a curse. Like, that's a real curse. Like Ducky would smell that from a distance, I think.
And they smile a little bit too wide as they give them their drink. She's like, here you go, ma'am. I really hope you like it.
She doesn't even make eye contact as she picks up the drink, and then as she does, she almost like flinches and nearly drops the laptop. Oh, as she looks over her shoulder and then exits the cafe. We see a little snicker from your coworker who knows the secrets of the stickers. But across the way and tucked into a nice, comfortable nook in the cafe, we see Juno. Koya, will you please describe your character and what you're doing in the cafe this morning?
Okay, Juno is, I'd say, like a 27-year-old girl. She has red hair. She has this very sporty blue jacket, ripped jeans, boots. I think she's in the corner really picking away at this story that she's trying to get down for a manuscript. And
the light of your screen illuminates you. Are you typing fast? Have you hit a good flow? Or has it been a bit of a writer's block sort of morning?
I think it's been kind of a writer's block a morning. She's probably already had like 2 drinks, but she's just stuck, you know?
We can see on the table an empty carafe, a plate with crumbs, a beverage with a little bit of ice, sort of watering down whatever latte-colored light, milk and coffee blend. That light brown has watered down into kind of this almost like milky, gross color. And as we see, you sort of shake the ice cubes and look up and into the shop, and you can see that it's the morning rush is finally starting to settle down, and in walks Ella Crust. She steps in with a whole big pile of books, and both of you clock it pretty immediately. Those are occult books. One of them just says boldly in font along the side, The Art of Witchcraft. The others seem to not have titles directly on them, and they're leather bound and older. Maybe an antique or an old publication of a tome that's been copied again and again through time. We can see as she's carrying them, and she looks around warily and then spies Cricket behind the counter and steps over towards the cash register. Hey, Cricket, Morgan sent me over here because you might know something about witchcraft. I don't know why she thinks that you would know that.
Cricket just kind of laughs, and they're like, they look over at their coworker, and they're like, "Hey, take this for a bit." You just they point to several cups. Use those ones. I've already got them worked out, and they like slap their hands together and walk over towards Her name was Ella Crust.
Morgan, I'm sorry, your coworker behind the counter is, oh, whatever. And then as he goes, you watch as he sort of like looks at the stickers and the names, and he's like,
oh God,
Balake. This one's for Balake. Do we have a Balake in the house? And
this is why I can't trust you with anything.
The guy just walks over. He's like, yeah, that's me. Yep. Balake Jones. Thank you for the coffee. And you see your coworkers just like, all right, the next one's for Michele. Michele, I have a chai for you, Michele. And in the background of you sort of clapping your hands, walking away, we just see like shaking your head as you make your way to a private table. You're 2 tables over from Juno. And as Ella sort of sets the books on the table, she looks at you and kind of like looks around the shop. She's like, is this a good place to do this? It's a little public.
Yeah, it's fine. Witchcraft's no big deal. People give it like way too much of a stigmatism. Like, it's whatever. They look over the books. May I know which books are present, or do you want me to make them up?
Yeah. We've certainly got one called The Art of Witchcraft. I assume another is maybe like a Wiccan history or mythology of the Wiccan faith. What is the book that you pick up that is probably her best option?
Okay. First, like they look over at her. They're like, firstly, does she want to practice, or is she just interested in knowledge?
Yeah. Well, it's her birthday coming up, so I'm just trying to kind of get her something that I think matches her interests.
Okay. Can I use magic to see what her partner might be interested in, like which book particularly?
Interesting. A use magic roll here. Okay, yeah, give it a roll. That's gonna be plus weird for Cricket.
Okay, they pull out a sticker that looks like a birthday cake, and they stick it on their hand, and as they put it over like the books, and that is a 9 plus. Cricket has a 2, so 9, 10, 11.
11 is good. 11 is really good. Your magic works without issues. Choose your effect. So we could go for something along the lines of observe another time or place, or do one thing that is beyond human limitations. What sort of effect are you looking for?
I'm thinking one thing beyond human limitations. I don't think I need to observe another time or place for her. I feel like at that point it's just being weird, which is haha weird. But yeah, so I think beyond human limitations, this is basically like sort of a read your mind kind of role.
Yeah. We see as you pass your hand over the tops of the books, there comes to you a sense of great tremendous desire to practice. As if you kind of feel it coming off of Ella. Like it's something that is so powerful in her partner and her wife that she has it still kind of resonating off of her. There's witchcraft in their house. She is practicing. You can almost smell it on the butcher in front of you, if only you could get past all of the smells of meats. And as you sort of as you take this in, you get a very strong sense that the book that's about practicing witchcraft is the one she would like best.
They pick up the book and like they look at the title. It's like alchemy and tea. And it's like about like practicing with like various forms of alchemy and tea leaves, and they hand her this book, and they're like, I feel like she would be really interested in this book particularly.
Right. Well, I don't know much about it. It's you know how they say opposites attract. Well, I've managed to get myself in with someone I don't know if I'll ever understand. But my mother was a Wiccan, so I guess witchcraft isn't so bad. And she takes the book up, and the other two, and kind of like looks at him, and she looks back at you, Cricket, and says, "Thanks, I really appreciate that."
No problem. Take those back to Morgan before she curses you.
All right, will do. And she puts a 5 in your tip jar on her way out.
Nice.
Cricket, as you sort of like take the rest of your break, you look over and you can see Juno typing away for a second now, still fingers on the keyboard, maybe keeping an eye on what's happening around the cafe, but certainly interested in the conversation nearby. What do you say to the searcher when you notice them here?
I feel like they sidle up to her and just kind of like, they aren't quite looking at her book, but they are like, giving it a glance over, and then they look over her. It's like, so, what you working on?
Juno kind of lets out like a really deep sigh. Working on this manuscript, and it's just not really working out right now. So I have like, okay, this bartender turns into a ghost, and she's involved with a cult member, but there's a lot right now. One of these days I could like sit you down and
a romance, or is it like a mystery?
No, definitely mystery.
Okay.
I feel like there's too much of a power dynamic because the bartender is like the cult member's boss.
Oh yeah, that is pretty power dynamic-y. Well,
it's a little weird, So yeah. Anyway, I didn't know you were into like Wicca stuff. Wiccan?
Oh fuck yeah! One of my moms is a witch. The other one does like some corporate stuff. I don't fucking know.
There's this blank stare. Corporate, right?
Yeah, corporate. The other kind of witchcraft, where you serve overlords.
Well, yeah, that's definitely. I get that. Yeah. I can't help but feel like there's something kind of. How do I put it? Special happening around here. Did something happen to those? And she kind of points to the agents, like.
Oh, maybe. They kind of laugh and like they offer you a sticker. They're like, "Do you need a little pick me up?" I sound like a drug dealer.
You know what? Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. I feel like I need to take a break. This is too much too much of a stumper, you know.
Yeah,
Maybe we'll
I
get a
mean,
cup?
get a cup of coffee. I can make you something for inspiration if you like.
Sure.
All right.
As
And
you step back towards the counter to make it, and Juno, you maybe look down at the two drinks in front of you, kind of wondering, like, those ones didn't help. What could Cricket possibly make that would? And the two of you have a small and short separate moment. As you step behind the counter, your coworker's still like, Gureg? Do we have a Gureg in here?
I feel like Cricket would just take it from him and then
R-
offer it to the right person and be like, "Go take your 15."
EG, Gureg. All right, thanks, Cricket. And he leaves. We immediately see him go to the back and just like set his head against the wall, like, oh God, I'm so tired. And then the door closes, and we see Cricket in a flurry of activity finish the morning rush. However, into the store walks the sheriff. Sheriff Dana Collins has a kind of concerned look on his face. He steps into the space and looks around and kind of, and then he seems to spot Juno across the way and walks directly across towards you. Juno, he puts his hand on the chair and looks across. He says, "Ma'am, I'm sorry to bother you, but I'm afraid that my usual port of call for something unusual is not around this weekend. So this week, for some reason, out of town, I believe. I'm looking for somebody who might be able to help me with something a little out of the ordinary."
Like a supernatural PI.
Unfortunately, that's exactly what I'm talking about. I don't want to have to say the S word in this public setting here, but we don't want to get the people spooked. But there does appear to be something strange, and I need a little bit of help. I think I'm in over my head.
Yeah, sure. Cricket, maybe ixnay on that order. I gotta go right now.
Cricket, it's been 15 and your coworker's walking back in. You were just about to bring the drink over to Juno. You put it in a to-go cup?
Cricket puts it in a to-go cup, sticks another like inspirational sticker on it, and tells what is his name? My coworker. Just say coworker.
We're gonna call him Billy.
Okay, Billy. Yo, Billy.
Yeah.
You're working the rest of the shift. I gotta go be places.
Oh.
Cricket clocks Sheriff Collins, and they kind of know a bit by now what the hell he usually stops by for.
Man, I don't want to work the afternoon shift. And you see him kick a lid across the way, and then it's sort of just like, fine. But I do think...
Why do you even work here?
I do think you're going to need to roll to manipulate someone here to see if he's going to do it well, do it willingly, or do it not at all.
Okay, fine.
+1 to charm for our spell slinger.
That is barely. I got 7.
7 is so close. On a mixed success, they'll do it, and I think you've given them pretty good reason, but he looks like he's still going to be, kind of a drag about it. How do you want to inspire him to work harder while you're gone? A threat?
I think,
A persuasion?
No. I think, Cricket's gonna walk over and just, grab him on the shoulders. As they do that, they have, a sticker on that, just makes him a little bit more, happy to help, and, it's a helping hand on there, and it's just stick it on the, I know you'll do a great job. You love this job, don't you? I mean, you don't, but come on. Where else are you gonna work? I know you don't want to help out with manual labor. You've already made this. This is the only job your dad got you. So, smile.
Yeah, my dad owns the shop. All right. And we see as he sort of steps over to the counter and starts taking an order, and it's the most chipper you've seen him do so ever. Your helping hand sticker has given him some sense of purpose as
Yes.
as young William goes back to the line. You step from around the
And
counter, your to-go drink in hand. You step over, the sheriff looks at you and says, Cricket, top of the day to you. He tips his hat. He says, how was the morning's rush?
busy.
Yeah, my morning's been a little busy too. I suppose you're tagging along?
Yes, I find this to be a little more interesting at the current moment. Here you go, Judo.
Thanks.
Come on, let's walk and talk. And as the three of you exit the cafe, we turn back to the moonlit margins. It's full. Ducky, you are so full. Not actually. You could still eat, but cartoonishly ballooning out of your yellow sweater, you managed to eat 3 of those steaks before they finally decided to cut you off. And we see as you sort of like basically lumber into the midnight to the margins, and we can see as Candy and Morgan see you walk in, the bell rings above the door, and you're just like so obviously stuffed to the gills.
Hey,
Ducky,
oh yeah,
you
I
okay over
just
there?
stayed a whole bunch. So I don't know. You got some tea that would be good for like digestion or something?
Yes, of course. What did you eat?
I had like 3 steaks. They were kind of big, but I only had 30 minutes to finish them.
Wait, I'm sorry?
Dougie holds out his hands like they were like this big, and yeah, I guess if you put them all together, they'd be this big. But you know, I don't want to scare anyone.
Candy pulls out a measuring tape between your hands and then looks at Morgan like, that's a big steak.
Yeah. I don't know how healthy that is, but okay. Let me make you some ginger tea, and she's gonna go back and she'll brew the tea. Was it a contest? Did you win a prize?
Dougie thinks back. He's like, was there a prize? I thought the prize was eating the steaks. Did I forget my prize?
Yeah, we flash back to a Polaroid on a wall of fame. It says shame at the top, but it's crossed out in a red line, and they say fame below it. And there's just 2 pictures there. There's Ducky, and then there's Bobbert himself. He once ate one of those enormous steaks, but only one. You have a picture up there with 3 empty plates in front of you. You're leaned back. You're full to the brim. And that is your only prize, other than not having to pay the bill, of course.
Yeah, I think there was a prize. There must have been a prize. Anyhow, I did get, 3 steaks that I didn't have to pay for. I think that's part of the price. But yeah, now I'm feeling a little full. I could eat a little bit more. Maybe throw some whipped cream on that tea. That sounds good.
Okay. And she's just kind of like, okay, I'm putting whipped cream on this tea.
Into the shop, as the 2 of you sort of settle in, the whipped cream piled high, a sweet treat to end a delicious and filling meal. We see maybe the door opens and in walks a teen. This is unusual, and Candy kind of clocks it and looks at you, Morgan, and greets the guest as they walk in. But it's a young teen. They should be in school for certain. It's the school day, middle of the school day, and Candy says, "Hey, kid, everything all right? Shouldn't you be in school right now?" And the kid sort of just groans as he stumbles from place to place. His hand comes loose, and he knocks into a table. Something teeters and begins to fall. Morgan, a priceless artifact, is about to take a tumble. What do you want to do?
Morgan is just going to look at the artifact and, using her telekinesis, try to tip it back the other way without anybody really noticing.
Nice. A telekinetic move is plus weird. Let's give it a quick roll.
Okay. That's a 9.
A 9 is a mixed success, but you have 2. You have 1 hunter in here who might be able to help out. Is Ducky feeling cool?
Yeah, let's try to help out.
All right, you've got 2 to cool. It's going to be plus 2d6. What did you get?
A 9.
How do you help out? You're going to give +1 and expose yourself to danger. What do you do?
I think Ducky also tries to help steady the kid, and in doing so, like, bumps the table back. And I think the combined efforts of the telekinetics and the wayward bump prevents this thing from falling down.
As the artifact tumbles back and forth, it settles back onto its bottom, and we see this kid lurch towards you. He has a pallor to him that is unhealthy. His hair is beginning to thin and fall out. His eyes are barely looking. You can hardly see them. Like, he has an insane amount of cataract over the top of it. The ball sort of aimlessly circles around the room, and we can see as he lurches from place to place, and then he turns back towards you and he says, "Meat!" And we see as he smells the meat that you have, like, on you, in you, sweating from you, and he goes to take a bite. We see as he leans in, and he tries to take a big chomp out of Ducky. Ducky, what are you going to do?
Okay.
I think Ducky is gonna be like, "Oh, hey, man. Yeah, I was just at Bobbert Frank's," and he's gonna try to just, like, grab his face, like, move him out of the way. Like, "You okay, bud? You look like you're going 18, going on 80 over here." Just sort of, like, dodging out of the way.
Morgan, did you say you wanted to help out as well? Do you want to try to roll to protect someone, perhaps?
Actually, it's okay. I'd like to try to use my telekinesis to hold him in place for a second.
Wonderful, wonderful. 2 rolls we will need. Ducky, that sounds like a manipulate someone here. Is that what you're going for?
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Appeal to the humanity below the surface. Wonderful. Let's get a roll for that and a roll plus weird for Danae.
That's a 4.
And how about for you, Pinky?
Ducky got an 8.
An 8. So, Danae, on a 4, you can still use your 1 point of luck. In one shot and Monster of the Week, we get 1 luck to use. You should use it. Do you want to use it here? Or would you like to save it for higher stakes and later days?
And I'm going to use it.
We see a roll turned to 12. Your telekinesis manifests as an incredibly potent magic. And as Ducky appeals to the humanity with that 8, Ducky, you feel confident that this thing is still going to lurch towards you. It doesn't quite resonate with you, resonate with him, this teen, as he does. And as he lurches across the store towards you, step by step by step, the creak of the floorboards, this ominous sound that breaks the stillness and tension of the air. We see as he floats up. What does Morgan do to use telekinesis in this moment? A hand outstretched, a focused face. What do we see?
You see her eyes. They flash bright, but almost starlit. And then she does this time kind of put her hands out like she would be holding someone. And you just see him freeze for a moment.
Freeze and stop in place. For just a moment, he seems to lift just an inch or 2 off of the ground. Your hands outstretched. This is a bigger target than a vase or an artifact tumbling off a table that you can handle with ease. But you've managed to absolutely crush this roll. So this figure does not get a chance to bite at Ducky. However, we see as he sort of... as he's trying his best to take a munch out of Ducky's flesh, the 3 of you look, and we see Morgan holding for now. What are you going to do next? You can't just put him back down. He seems like he's not okay.
Can I kick on my sight?
Your sight. Will you please read the move for us, Danae?
Yes. You can see the invisible, especially spirits and magical influences. You may communicate with, maybe even make deals with, the spirits you can see, and you have more opportunities to spot clues when you investigate a mystery.
We see that same scarlet flash for another moment. This time it goes across the eyes, and we see through yours. there appears to be an almost hazy aura around the boy. He has like you're seeing a mirage in the desert. We can see as you take a close look at him, we get a close look at him as well. He has little pieces of gristle that seems like maybe he was digging face first into a meat. We can see as all around his body there's tatters and tears from where he might have been grasped by others in the schoolyard. And also, we can see that there seems to be this almost smell, like a pie sitting on a windowsill. This wafting smell seems to trail from him and out the door to somewhere else. Morgan, would you like to roll to investigate a mystery, please?
Yes.
More opportunity to spot clues here. Your sharp is 1.
9.
A 9 is 1 question. What would you like to know? For the first time in our adventure, I'll read them out. We've got what happened here, what sort of creature is it, what can it do or what can hurt it, where did it go, what was it going to do, or what is being concealed here?
I think that what happened here?
This boy is transformed. He has been made into something, and whatever that smell is that's coming off of him, it has a magical influence. It's the trail of whatever has happened. He has that smell is likely trailing back to wherever this first occurred. And you can sense that he has absolutely no sense of himself. There's no boy left anymore. Appealing to his humanity will not work. He's been cursed.
Ducky, he's been cursed. I don't know how long I can hold him. We need Cricket. Do you have Cricket's number? Candy, can you call Cricket?
Oh, yeah. She pulls up her cell phone and starts to look for Cricket's phone.
I think while this is happening, Ducky's also going to reach up and like sort of pat the kid's arm and be like, hey man, like, you good? Like, what happened to you? I would also like to read a bad situation.
Wonderful.
And try to devour evil as well.
All right, let's start with a read a bad situation plus sharp for Ducky. That's going to be a 0 to your dice.
Got an 8.
An 8 will still reap you 1 question for our first time. I'll read them out. We've got best way in or out, dangers we haven't noticed, biggest threat, most vulnerable to me, or the best way to protect the victims.
I think best way to protect the victims, with the victims being us here with this situation.
Interesting. Taking this creature at this point out of the shop is the best way to protect you in a short term, but if this is happening anywhere else in town, then you could be victims outside of this shop at any moment. Your sense is that the best way to protect the victims is to figure out how to expel this curse. Whatever has changed this boy needs to be undone, and quickly. If there are more of him out there, there are only more questions to answer. You want to also try to devour evil, is that correct?
Yeah.
Wonderful. Will you please read the parts of the move that are important to us here?
Yeah, you can try to absorb a curse from a monster, phenomenon, minion, or magic. I'll roll, and we'll try to figure out the power and downside of absorbing this curse.
Perfect. You're going to roll 1 d6 for us.
I got a 3. That's
On a
just
1 to 3, you'll mark 1 corruption, and since you don't have any consumed magics, you can use this to try to consume the curse if you'd like.
I think I'll take it as a corruption, so I can hold it.
Wonderful. We see as you start to take it in, and it feels a lot like what you felt in the restaurant. A hunger, a deep-seated gnawing in the base of your belly. It feels like you haven't eaten all day, all week. A month of time has passed since last a morsel passed your lips, and all you're hungry for is meat. It doesn't feel like you have that roughage or that green desire you get when you haven't had a salad in a couple days. No, this is raw. You feel like an animal, a carnivore, hunting in the nature. And you are so powerful, this could be a danger to you. I think you recognize it right away.
I think Ducky will sort of like take that in. There's another ring that appears on his finger, similar to the one in the shop, and I think he'll share that with Morgan. Like, oh yeah, this kid's got something in him. It's making him hungry for meat. I mean, I can see why he mistook me for whatever he was trying to go for. Hey kid, I'm not a real duck, okay? I'm a person. I'm a person here.
I get the feeling that he's not him. He's something else right now.
Candy is calling Cricket, and we turn from this moment to the other side of town. We can see, as you've been caught up, the sheriff has told you everything that occurred earlier this day in the school. The school has been completely evacuated. They've given the students the day off, and it is empty here, except for a couple of teachers and the superintendent. We can see as Superintendent Keller rolls over and sees I suppose neither of you are previous hunters who know his true form. So as he rolls over towards you, you see Superintendent Keller sort of look sheepishly at the sheriff. And the sheriff just sort of shakes his head. He's like, now's not the time, Keller. We've got a situation on our hands, and I've brought a couple of friends to help out. This is Cricket, and this is Juno. They've got a very particular set of skills that I think might benefit us here. Whatever's happening is certainly out of our wheelhouse. And Keller nods. He rolls up in his wheelchair, offers out a hand, and gives you both a shake, and then says, I'm Superintendent Keller. I've been called in because there seems to be some sort of emergency at the school, and I'm afraid that it does seem to be of supernatural make. If you don't mind me asking, what can the two of you do?
Cricket just kind of looks at the superintendent and kind of smiles and like, I can do a little bit of this, a little bit of that, mostly in the magical sense.
Good. And how about for you?
Well, I'm really good at documenting, so I think Juno tries to like take stock of like the lay of the land, you know.
Absolutely.
She could read the bad situations.
Sure. In this case, we don't have any direct threats available, but let's go and roll Investigate a Mystery instead. While we do, and while those dice is tumbling, let's go ahead and take a look at our clue table. Over on the clue table, we've gathered a few things already. L Crust and we do need Bobbert here as well, the two locals who are involved with the meat trade in town. We also have the first of our landmark stickers. We can see the Havens Mill Hawks statue, the representation of the local high school and all that it stands for is our first landmark sticker. Juno, what did you roll?
You rolled an 8.
8 is a mixed success. You get one question from the list. What would you like to know?
I think what's being concealed here.
What is being concealed here indeed? As you go to step through and past them, you can see that there is still the sounds of something rustling in one of the dumpsters. We see Juno kind of look around warily. What is that? Is it an animal? But no, it sounds too big. And as you lift up the lid, you can see that there is another child in here. Maybe a sophomore, black hair down to her shoulders, kind of knotted and unkempt, covered in dumpster sludge. And as she looks up at you, she sees you, and the light almost hits her eyes, same way as the other meat zombie we just saw. She has a pale pallor, little bits and flecks of things around her mouth, and she looks up and says, "Meat? Meat?" And she lunges up out of the dumpster towards you. You slam the lid down, and as you stumble back, we see that as you're looking around, there seems to be a few of them sort of converging from different places around. The school is not empty. What's being concealed here is that there are still students milling about, and they've been affected by something horrible. As the dumpster lid starts to raise, Superintendent Keller comes over. He says, please step away from the students. We're not sure what's going on. The CDC is supposed to be arriving later today, but I'm afraid that if they come and show up, they're going to shut down the school. The sheriff has brought in his best talent. I believe that's you. How can I help you?
I don't think the CDC is going to do anything.
Yeah, it seems a little beyond them.
Well, I mean, it wasn't my choice to call them. Trust me that I would have done my best to keep them from getting involved. The government doesn't need to be seeing the strange things that are happening in Havensmill. I believe we can all agree on that. And the sheriff sort of nods, and he looks at the two of you as well. Cricket.
I'd like to use the move.
What move would you like to use, Juno?
I think that's going to be Occam's broadsword, but I'd also wonder if the first encounter move gets triggered too.
I think you can have both. Since they
Alright.
are both related to the first time you see something, you can go ahead and roll them. So you also get one free investigate a mystery for the first time you see a new type of creature, and you may ask me what sort of thing that was that you just saw. I'll tell you if it is natural, unnatural, or a weird phenomenon or person, and you'll gain a +1 forward. Ask away.
All right. Well, what can hurt it? I mean, or stun it, you know?
The zombies that seem to be almost like milling about, the students, I should say students, as we all know that they are in their hearts still just children, seem to be milling about. The two that were converging on you since the loud noise of the dumpster have started to climb back in, and you do get the sense that they're hungry. Starving them could be a way to hurt them if that's what you're trying to do. You're not sure it will stop the curse. You're not sure what it will do to them as individuals over time. But if they're kept from meat, perhaps they can be made normal again over time. You feel like a vegetarian diet is probably the best way to affect these meat zombies. You have Occam's broadsword as well.
Okay. I think she can gather that they're kind of like meat zombies, but is there anything else that she needs to know about them? Maybe the cause or.
The cause of this does seem to be some sort of weird phenomenon. It doesn't look like it's a person. Nothing has cast a spell upon them. They have no vestiges of magical influence. There is no sort of natural way this could be happening, and it certainly doesn't seem to be some sort of creature. It's a weird phenomenon of sorts. And as you gather this information, we hear Cricket's phone start to ring. Cricket, is it on vibrate, or do you have a ringtone of some sort?
They have a ringtone. It's "Hit Me Baby One More Time" by the Backstreet Boys, just because I thought it was hilarious.
As it goes off, you answer to hear Candy's voice. Candy says, "Cricket, Morgan asked me to call you because we have some sort of I don't know, meat zombie stomping through the store right now."
Yeah, we got a situation like similar like that over here. They seem to be the kids are meat zombies. I don't know how the freak it happened. So, can
What
we
do you
cuss
mean?
on the show?
The meats, the meats. I think we've used our F card, so we'll want to keep it PG-13 from there. There's more of them. Man, this one's causing us enough trouble here. Are you guys okay?
More or less, I would say if I find a way to restrain them long term, I recommend a rope. Put them in like a back room or something. We're gonna try to see what's the main cause of all this.
Oh, okay. All right. We'll lock him in. Should I send Morgan your way? We've also got Ducky here.
They might be useful. Yeah, send them on over. Just tell them to come to the high school. They can't miss it. It's literally the only one in town.
Okay, I'll send them your way. And we briefly see in the sort of drunk history style cut frame where Candy's speaking to you, she turns and shouts up at Morgan and Ducky, who are probably still handling this zombie in some way, shape, or form, and says, yeah, they got another handful of them at the school, the local high school. Yeah, they want you to come down. I can watch the shop. Sure, lock him in the supply closet. Uh-huh. Okay, Cricket, they're on their way. And we see as Candy hangs up. The screen goes back to Cricket, and you look up at the sheriff and at the superintendent, and the superintendent says, "Well, the first teacher that experienced some of these strange symptoms in her class was Mrs. Ope, a teacher of English literature, typically for upperclassmen. However, our lunch lady has also been asked to stay behind, since it was her that seems to be, I don't know, it was after lunch that these changes started to occur."
Okay. I'm gonna go talk to the lunch lady, and they like just walk out to go find the lunch lady.
We see you walk off. Juno, do you follow, or are you headed in a different path to investigate?
I think Juno also follows. She's just like, don't leave me with these meat zombies, and like
We'll leave them
skitters
with the
off from
adults.
The sheriff says, "Well, don't leave me with the meat zombies." And the superintendent
You're
says,
the sheriff.
"They're just kids, Mr. Collins. Let's see if we can wrangle them, all right? You can put your hand out and keep them from biting you like you're their older brother. We can take care of this. I'll call the janitor and see if we can maybe put them in the cafeteria or the gymnasium for now. We need to get this figured out." And the two of them head off in a different direction as our spell slinger and our searcher head towards the lunchroom. When you step into the open space, we can see a big, tall, open, sort of two-story gymnasium of sorts. Linoleum floors, bright white and stark. Across the way, a small set of buffet-like distribution centers where lunch ladies or lunch folk might scoop out and plop onto cafeteria trays whatever strange things they've made for the day. All love to lunch ladies. I, too, was a public lunch boy. But we see as sitting at one of these tables is little Gretchen Baubles. Now, Gretchen is a strange case, a local woman who has long served the Havens Mill school community. Anyone who went to school here had her as their lunch lady, elementary, middle, and high school. And no one can explain how she manages to do all of them. She sits there, her arms crossed. She's sort of like drawing in the linoleum with her toe. And as you enter, she says, "Finally, some action. Hello, my dearies. Have you come to figure out what's going on with the students? They're trying to put the blame onto me, I'm afraid."
Action? You want action to be happening amongst the students?
Well, no, I'm afraid I don't. I prefer my school peaceful and calm. I get enough of the action down at the elementary school. High school kids tend to be a little less unruly. But today we have a problem, and I'm not really sure what to do about it.
When did it start? Because they said that you fed them something and now they're acting a little bit weird. Where did
Gretchen?
you get this?
Gretchen hands you the menu for the week's lunches, and on Thursday it has mystery meatloaf. She says, "I didn't take the order this week. I was out sick on Monday and Tuesday. So they had a scab of sorts, someone who came in to take care of business while I was indisposed. I don't know who it was, but they accepted some boxes of some very strange meat. And, well, the school doesn't have the money to replace it. I don't know exactly where it came from, and I'm afraid I used it in one of my recipes. It may
May we
be that...
see this meat?
Of course. Come on." And she starts to lead you to the back. As we pass by the distribution stations into the swinging doors that head into the main kitchen, we can see a large production kitchen, stainless steel counters and sinks, knives on a rack of magnets up on the wall. But you also hear something as you enter, and it's this horrible, sickening slurp. You can sense that there's something in here already, and as she goes to turn on the lights, you know it'll give you away if she does. Do either of you want to do something here?
Cricket kind of just like holds off for, holds their hand up and be like, "Hey, wait a minute.
She looks at you. Yes? Oh,
Do you hear that?"
What is that sound? All right, and she holds up a ladle like it's a bludgeon. I'm gonna go take care of this.
No. Juno, get her.
Not- Yeah, she grabs the ladle, and I don't know. I feel like Juno's kind of clumsy, and she must have tripped over something as she reaches for the ladle.
As you sort of trip and stumble, the doors open wide, and as you step into this space, we look in and can see something enormous. It seems to be shadowed. The room is still dark, but it's pulling from one of the lowboy fridges down below the stainless steel counters. You can hear this sickening, thick slurp that fills the space. And as it picks up, we see as it lifts up a big deli, a quart deli container, glug, 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 throws it over. We hear an empty ding, 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 ding before it settles onto the linoleum floor. Whatever this is, it ain't human, Juno. You are seeing another new type of creature for the first time. You get a free investigate a mystery question. What would you like to know?
Oh, what sort of creature is it?
As you say it, it turns, and in the low light of the lowboy, you can see a creature made of meat. We see an enormous hulking figure. Its body made of strips of bacon, its belly full and bursting with hocks of ham. It seems as if it's taken everything from this place and amalgamated into some sort of horrible conglomeration of meat. And as it turns towards you, it roars out loud. And then it starts to lurch towards you and the door and the other two. We're going to cut away from you for just a moment as our friends out of the cafe a few moments back received a phone call and some instructions to leave. Morgan, Ducky, you got to take care of this boy before you go. What do we see, assuming you've already taken care of it? Where did you put him?
I think that I would have been like, okay, Ducky, I'm going to let him go. Do you think that you could walk towards the storeroom and I'll walk behind him and I'll try to just shove him in with my telekinesis?
I mean, yeah, sure, we can make it work. Come on, bud. Ducky's just gonna grab this guy's sleeve. We're going this way.
He says as he's sort of barely pulling against you, and you manage to put him in the closet and set it up right. Just like you can hear like the soft padding of hands dragging down the inside of the door, and this meat zombie is contained. The two of you free to do what you'd like. Candy shouts from the counter, hey, Cricket says that they've got a lot more of those guys down at the local high school, and they want you to go. Is there anything that I should send? I can send them a message.
When you did your thing earlier, what did you find out?
Oh yeah, definitely just they're hungry for meat, which to an unusual amount, I guess, like more than 3 steaks amount.
Okay. I was hoping we'd have something to have an idea of how to stop them, but we'll figure it out.
Yeah, I think we'll find out more if we head to the high school.
Definitely.
I
Just tell
have
them
to
we're
take
on
my
our way.
drink on the go.
Candy sends a message across, and it appears on Cricket's phone, but we don't see it. It vibrates in a pocket as the three of them are dealing with whatever they're doing in the meat market here. The two of you begin to head that way. As you're walking through the streets of town, you can see that there's a local farmers market taking place in Central Park, and there's a poster up on one of the walls or up on one of the poles nearby for Bob's Butchery. It's clear that he's advertising in a way that is meant to kind of make Mill Meats or Ella Crust's business look bad. And as you're walking along, you can't help but see it because it says meat, meat, meat on the top of it. It's all feeling like everywhere you look, you're seeing it. As the two of you make your way towards the school, is there anything you want to do before you get there?
I think Ducky will point out to Morgan, like, is it just, do I have meat on my mind, or do you feel like you're seeing meat everywhere?
No, I am. What is going on with this butcher?
Maybe we can stop by, and if there was another part of my prize, we can pick it up, because I can't remember if I got all the parts of my prize.
Okay, maybe I can pick something up with my sight.
We head to the Bills. We head to Bob's Butchery, and we step into the space to find Bobbert Franks. He's sitting there talking to a customer. You can just smell the sleaze, and the business looks like it's bustling. Behind him, there are Frank's sausages hanging up on hooks behind the counter. We can see a clock up on the wall and a counter full of meats that are sort of kept cold and behind glass. The customer's pointing, and the line is busy. There's 2 or 3 people behind the customer that's actively ordering right now. But Bobbert looks up and says, "What? My prodigal son, you've come already. I didn't think I'd see you so soon, Ducky. Welcome to Bob's Butchery. Boy. And one of the butcher's workers runs over to take care of the register. Bobbert steps aside and he leans over the counter. He says, "Well, how can I be of service to you, Ducky? Anything for the local hero."
Yeah, well, I've just been, seeing meat everywhere. I don't know if it was just from having the steaks here that seems like everything's related to meat in my world right now.
Well, I feel you on that front. But everything in my world is related to meat, so I guess it's a little bit different. I'm sorry, I have been advertising a little heavier since the competition came in a few weeks back. A new butcher shop in a small town like this is just bad for business. Unfortunately for them, it's bad for theirs, not mine. As you can see, things are going great here at Bob's Butchery.
New butcher shop?
Oh yes, the Crusts, that lovely couple that just moved to town about a couple months ago. I guess Ella Crust is a butcher of some sort, and
Yes, she's quite lovely.
Well, I tried to get her to come work for me, but instead she chose to open up shop herself. And listen, when you're competing against someone as established as I am, and he wipes his fingernails on his dirty apron and looks at him, he says, "You're gonna lose that race."
Oh yes, Mr. Bob. I agree, but some of your advertisements cut a little bit lower than for my taste. And then as I'm looking around, can I try to open my site and just see if I notice
Sure.
anything?
Yeah, give it a roll. I think you'll be investigating a mystery here.
Okay. Can I roll with weird since I'm using the site, or do I need to roll with sharp?
You'll still roll plus sharp, but you do get added benefit in the opportunity to spot clues when you roll with your sight open.
Oh no.
Oh, it's good, huh?
Got a whole 5 because I rolled 2 1s. And I just leveled up.
5 is tough. We see as you I'll take a hard move here. Bob says, Bobbert looks at you across the counter and he says, "Ducky, did you bring a friend with you today? Hello." And he spits in his hand and slicks his hair back. And my hard move that I'm going to take is that Bobbert Franks is suddenly very attracted to Morgan. He says, "I'm Bobbert." And he puts his hand out. There's still just like a droopy saliva glob hanging off it. He's like, "And I'm the owner of Bob's Butchery. It's an absolute pleasure to meet you, man."
She just puts her fingers like like.
I think Ducky's gonna help and grab Bob's hand before he touches Morgan.
So much.
Ducky's like, "Hey man, could I get another steak to go? I can't remember if there was another prize for the competition, but I was gonna share it with my friend here, and she wanted to know how great your butchery was, so."
Of course. Since you ate 3 of those, everybody thinks that they can tackle it too. I've managed to sell 10 steaks at the restaurant since then, and not a single one of them has finished it. So you're a hero to me, Ducky. You want another one? You got it. And he goes back. We can see in the background there's like there's a woman in sort of like a hoodie working in the butchery, sort of sawing and slicing and carving the animals. We can see hooks, hanging carcasses, what have you, in the background. Regular butchery. And she sort of like, oh, another one? We can see her nod and then comes back holding an enormous steak. She like lumbers back and forth, and Bobbert comes out front and wraps it in paper. He says, "This one's on the house, Ducky, but that's your last prize for winning, all right? You hear me? I can't be just giving meat away. That's bad for business."
Mr. Bob, have you noticed anything weird around town? We seem to have gotten a teenager in today that was a little bit acting a bit strange.
I think strange is kind of the teenage baseline, if you ask me. But the only strange thing I see around town is that I've never met you before. Are you new in town? He's like,
No. I'm a descendant of Ezra Miller, the founder. So I've been here my whole life, and I'm very disappointed that I hadn't met you before. But I think we need to be going because we have a thing to do. Right, Ducky?
Oh yeah. Well, we'll come back later, Bob. But keep us
you're on.
posted if you meet any meat frenzied teens. Maybe they picked up on the trend after they saw the video of me eating those steaks. I'm bringing you good customers, Bob, and I'll come back for more steaks later.
Do you want to be on a poster, kid? I can make you famous. More importantly, if you see any of those meat-crazed teens, you send them to Bob, all right? And he waves you guys out of the store. We see as the two of you exit out into the street that there is an enormous boom and the sound of alarm bells ringing. A klaxon begins to sound in the distance. It sounds like the assembly bells at the local high school, or the tornado warning or natural disaster warning that might sound when an earthquake or an event is striking. We can hear that sound and this enormous cacophonous explosion coming from the distant high school. What do the two of you do?
I think Ducky's gonna ask Morgan, were they running drills on the alarms or doing some tests today, or is that a real one? Because I've never heard it in real life.
No,
before.
I think something's wrong because that's where Cricket is and Juno. So we need to get over there really fast.
Okay.
And I left my car at the cafe. That was very not intelligent.
Well, we still have our legs, so I guess we better get running.
Glad I didn't wear heels today. And I'll start running.
Two perfectly good cars at the end of both of your legs. We see the two of you begin to run towards the school, and let's figure out why it exploded. Across the way and a couple of blocks up and on the hillside, we see Havens Mill High School. There we can see busting from, literally throwing one of the stainless steel counters aside, is the meat monster. It lurches out and into sight, and as the three of you, Juno scrambles back from it. What are the three of you going to do? Juno, what do you say to tell them what you've just seen?
Oh my god, it's a meat monster!
It's a what?
Literally a meat monster!
Like, Cricket looks over, he's like, I was like, I did not need to see that.
The Gretchen picks up her ladle again, and she's like, "Let's take care of it." And she slaps it into her
Gretchen,
palm.
you're gonna get yourself killed.
Give me a quick manipulate someone here. As an innocent, Gretchen is very likely to run into danger and harm herself. I'm going to need you to roll plus charm, Cricket.
Okay, I'm gonna do that. If that doesn't work, I guess I'll roll protect someone as I charge the monster. Okay, we're gonna try and manipulate Gretchen from being, meat. That's 6, 7, and plus charm is 2, so it's still a mixed success.
A mixed success is good. You'll need to tell her why she shouldn't just run in. She slaps it down. She's like, "I can take this. I know a few things."
Gretchen, you cannot defeat this thing with a ladle.
Well, you don't know how powerful my ladle can be then. But
God.
she
Gretchen...
looks chagrined and turns and says, Well, what do you suggest we do then? And as she does, the doors slam open. They send her flying. She tumbles across the room and lands headfirst in a recycling bin. You can see her little legs kicking up in the air. And then the meat monster lurches into view. It goes to reach out towards Juno. Do you still want to roll to protect someone here, Cricket?
Yep, I'll roll protect someone, use magic as my thing. 6, 7, 8. For protect someone, I do roll. Is it cool or do I use my magic for weird?
For protect someone, you're gonna roll plus cool.
Okay,
Plus
that is
tough.
a 0.
Plus tough. Please excuse me.
Oh, nope. That is a negative. That is minus. So I rolled a 7.
A 7 is still a mixed success. You'll put yourself in some harm, but you'll protect them from some or all of it that they're going to get.
All right.
It's going to be a pretty hefty blow. Do you want to split it or take it all, Cricket?
Can I conjure a shield around me?
Ooh, you certainly can. What does it look like? What sticker do you use to make it?
Okay, I have this nifty little thing called combat magic, and so while I'm doing this, I'm going to like pull up an earth wall that takes the blow. It looks like, and the sticker looks literally like a brick as I stick it on the ground.
We see you pull from a sticker spot, slap this brick sticker onto the ground, and rising up and into the space between you and the creature is an enormous wall of earth. It's pulled from the linoleum and the earth below, but it's shaped like it's little clay bricks of shattered mosaic linoleum. And we see as this creature punches right through it. Your wall does 1 armor, but the rest of this is still going to hit you. He hits you for 2, and you go flying through one of the walls behind. We literally see a cricket-sized outline as your body goes through, and then we see you sort of like put your head back in, like whoa, as little drumsticks and chicken wings float above your head. Juno, you're alone with the monster here, and you're in terrible danger. A wall is crumbling before you. What do you want to do?
Holy crap. Juno's gonna look for maybe a torch? Like, for like a creme brulee?
Around you, as we look around, you can see that the kitchen behind this creature certainly has utensils, but it's behind it. You'd have to go through. However, on the wall to your right, just a couple of steps behind you, is a fire extinguisher. You're not sure what it would do here, but it's probably your only weapon in the space, other than a chair or something of that ilk.
I think she's going to grab the fire extinguisher, but head past the monster.
We see as you go to grab it, you pull it off the wall, you check the tags, you lift it up, and as you do, you see the shadow cover you as the monster comes between you and the fluorescent lights of the cafeteria. Enormous, it towers, and it seems to be almost growing bit by bit as the things that it's consumed pop out of its body, like they're just becoming part of its flesh. We see as it raises up a big hand, and you're going to try to skirt around it to head back to the kitchen?
Yes.
Roll to act under pressure.
Oh my god.
For our searcher, that's going to be plus cool 0 to the dice. What'd you get?
That's a 5.
Do you want to use your luck here?
No, I think to stay consistent, I think Juno's just very clumsy. She like trips over like a ladle that maybe Gretchen left,
Just scattered with odd ladles, and we see as you trip and the meat monster grabs you up in one hand and then punches through the wall of the cafeteria, an enormous hole just on another wall, just like Cricket's, but this time now it's in the shape of the meat monster, and we can see the little outline of Juno in its fist as it goes charging out of the building to who knows where. Seconds later, we see as running up into the schoolyard, we see Cricket turn and see Morgan and Ducky, the 3 of you together at last. The sheriff runs over. What was that?
Meat monster! It got Juno!
Meat monster? The sheriff says as he holds his gun up, worried and ready for action. Morgan, Ducky, Cricket, Last moments before break, what do we do or what do we say here?
I think Ducky will turn to Morgan and say, yeah, a meat monster sounds a lot worse than the monstrous man of meat that we met back there. That was pretty awkward.
Oh, are you talking about Bobbert? Yeah, he is kind of a monstrous man of meat, says the sheriff, but I love his Franks. Do you think he has something to do with this, Ducky?
I have no idea, but I do have this steak. Ducky's carrying the steak that he took to go.
Yeah.
And he still has the tea that Morgan made him. He took that to go too. Sorry, Morgan. He brought the whole cup.
In that case, what we see on your shoulder is a dinosaur-sized steak of meat, a cup in your hand. And for now, we'll go ahead and take a quick break. For our viewers at home, we're going to take a quick 15 minutes for everyone here, top off our coffees, grab a fresh bowl of cereal, and make sure that our booty flaps are properly buttoned on our footy pajamas. For now, we'll see you in just a bit. See you at the top of the hour, and I'll be back with my players just a little bit sooner than that. Grab your coffees. We'll be right back. Yeah, big meat kaiju brought to you by one of the butchers in town, almost certainly. All
Okay.
right, all right.
It's straight up. Bob's meat straight up has something wrong with it. Okay, I'm just gonna say it.
Well, that I had already decided my character was a pescatarian, so she would still get fish, but she probably would not get it there.
I
'Cause
think my character would become vegetarian after this.
yeah.
All right, all right, all right. Welcome back to our viewers and to our hunters. I hope you had a lovely break. Did you have your fresh bowl of cereals ready?
More coffee, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't need too much cereal anyway. I did have a bowl of Honey Nut Cheerios this morning, and I don't know if that really counts. Is that a sugary cereal? What's the vote?
Yeah, maybe. I keep hearing about this magic spoon thing that's supposed to be like adult cereal. I don't know.
Fair
Well, I
enough.
think it is. It's honey is sweet. It's got like a sweetener to it. So yeah, sweetness to it.
Not
I like
sponsored by
Raisin
Magic
Bran.
Spoon, but we would take a sponsorship, Magic Spoon. You know, I want you to think
Yes.
about it. I want to think
Pay
about
our
that.
dia. Pay our keeper. We
What do
need
you
money.
think? All right, everybody, let's get back into the action. We've got a pretty unfortunate scene unfolding in front of us. We can see two separate groups. One stands in the corridors or in the courtyard of the Havens Mill High School. We can see Gretchen Baubles has pulled herself out of the recycling. Superintendent Keller and the sheriff are all there as well, and three of our hunters stand by: Ducky, Morgan, and Cricket. We can see an enormous stake on Ducky's shoulder and the occasional drifting little teen meat zombie moving around the campus. The one that we see now, of course, really says tofu as they walk along. Tofu, as they're stumbling about, looking around. But even vegetarians got turned at this school. We see our hunters assembled. However, on the other side of things, lumbering away from the school and towards the docks, we can see the meat monster, and in its hands is Juno, the searcher. We'll start there for now. Juno, things are bad. You can't quite get out of this thing. Every time you find a way to wriggle yourself a little bit free, you find that it restricts and grasps at you anyway. We can see as it's rushing along, people are diving out of the way on both sides of the street. This thing doesn't care who sees it. It has no fear of being observed as a cryptid might. No, it is a mindless, hungry beast. And as you kind of look up, you see it's heading straight for the docks. Juno, what do you want to do here?
Oh my god, dude! She's just trying to look around. She's trying to scream for, like, anyone's attention. Can you guys, like, fry this guy up? Just... I know it's not really a good idea, but just start a fire!
Juno, let's see if you can manipulate someone here. There are some townsfolk about, and there is always a chance that you can get some of them to help you. That's going to be plus charm. A plus one to your bones here.
That is a 9.
A 9 is a mixed success, and with no one to help you, you'll have to do it yourself. How do you convince them? How do you show them that you mean it? You're asking civilians to approach a monster right now. What do you say to convince them to do it?
Please, in your heart of hearts, can you not see that I'm in danger? Please, help!
The monster goes streaking past Maggie's diner, and we see as standing out front, one of the people nods. He walks back in. He's an older gentleman, white mustache, bucket hat, and he shouts into the diner, Maggie, looks like we're gonna need some fire. And Maggie looks out the window, sees what's happening, and immediately reaches back in, pulls something out, and we see her get the creme brulee torch ready. She lights it, and the flame gets large, and little Maggie runs out of the diner towards you, trying to give you some help, Juno. She can't do it alone. What do you want to do to help her?
Can I do?
The smell of cooking meat fills the air. Maggie's blowtorch is cooking the outsides of this like a kebab. The creature spins away from her. It doesn't like the feeling of being cooked at all, but the flame is small.
Can they read the bad situation?
Great choice. Let's go ahead and roll plus sharp.
Okay, that is a 9 again.
A 9 will get you one question there, Quad. What do you want to know?
What's the most vulnerable to me?
It's a tough question for Juno, who really doesn't have any weapons or physical skills or talents, right? Like you're not a dangerous foe, so it's hard for things to be vulnerable to you. However, you know that your bag of cameras and microphones has all sorts of electrical power in it. It's slapping alongside your waist. You have your laptop battery, a couple of other tools and trinkets of your trade as an author and as an investigator, and all of that has power in it. You could maybe find a way to electrify this thing. That's a fast way to cook some meat.
I think that's what she's gonna do. As a player, I'm just like, I could electrocute myself by doing this, but she's not panicked. She's doing it.
We see Juno start to try to wriggle towards the bag. Juno, I do need an act under pressure here for plus cool, please.
Okay, that's not great. I think I'm just gonna use my luck.
Oh no, what'd you roll?
I rolled a 3.
A 3 would be tough here, so a luck is a good choice. You want to make that roll to a 12, I assume. Taking your act under pressure to you do exactly what you set out to do and something extra, or you do what you wanted to absolute perfection.
Let's use something extra.
In this case, as we see you describe it for us, how do you kind of take the electricity of the things in your bag and apply them to this creature's form?
I feel like she's kind of really just grossly kind of rubbing the batteries and stuff onto the meat. Hoping that some sort of friction might do something.
That is gross. I love that. It's so foul. But this is a thing that can conduct. It has fluids. It has electrolytes. It can conduct such electricities. And as you rub the first one on, we watch as this creature sort of shrieks like it's just been tased. And then it drops you. And the extra that you get is you are now free from its clutches. However, as it does, it's been barreling through town. Maggie is hobbling after it with her little creme brulee torch like, I'm gonna get you. And she's lighting it aflame. And we see as it takes the docks 2 steps at a time, 2 lurching, meaty steps at a time, and just immediately dives onto a fishing boat and starts to gobble fish out of the fisherman's net. Juno, you're free for now, but if you don't keep your eyes on this thing, it could get away from you. What do you want to do?
I think she's going to chase after it while phoning the other 3. I think she's calling Cricket, and she's like, okay, I managed to get out of the grasp, but we need to get this thing out of the dock, because it's eating so much and getting bigger.
All right, sounds like a plan. I am going to. Okay, it still has Juno.
Juno is free, and she just gave you a call to kind of let you know where it was. So now as you look at the other 3 hunters, you have a clear indication of where this beast has gone and what it's doing. We also add the docks sticker to the Havens Mill landmarks on the clue page. What do you want to do or say, Cricket, to inspire your team?
Can I bar the meat monster from the docks? Like, you know, from like the water. Like, can I just cast something along the water to stop them from getting things from it?
Ooh, so that's going to be some big magic. You'll need some help on this one, so I'm going to ask you to ask at least one other player to help out for this.
Okay, I'm gonna look over to Morgan and be like, hey, you want to help me bar this water? we're gonna make the water like a big old table. Nothing goes in, nothing goes out.
Oh, a wall? Okay.
And they're gonna take like 3 stickers out. They're gonna put, and it looks like, you know, ice, and they're gonna put one on each hand, and then slap one on Morgan's hand as well to give him a boost.
The three of you are sprinting towards the docks as you do. The sticker pulls free. You slap it on both of your hands. First things first, Morgan, roll to help out, please.
Let's see. Help out is cool, correct?
Help out is indeed cool.
I'm going home now.
Oh no.
That's a 6.
A 6 won't do it, and a hard move here. We see as the creature takes one of the boats. It's now gotten so big. It takes one of the boats, lifts it up, and dumps the fish into its maw. Ah, yummy!
Okay, new plan.
You can still keep it from the water, and that is a good idea. If this thing gets access to the fish and all of the food in the bay, it would be bad.
A new plan.
Great. Cricket,
I
you
want
slap
to
the
bar
sticker. What do you want to do?
If I'm intaking anything else, I am going to cast a bar its mouth. It's a portal.
Yes.
Bar its mouth. We see as you go to try to use Morgan's influence, something goes awry and the magic fizzles. The sticker turns gray, falls off, the adhesive peeling, and the sticker drifting down to the ground. Cricket, you know that plan is going to work. So you pivot. And as you go to point, you say, the mouth. It's filling up its mouth with fish right now. You want to prevent it. What do you use for this sticker? Are you still going to use your ice cube?
Oh, I think I quickly peel off those stickers, or, you know, not just leave them on. It's fine. And I take what looks like a like cage with like teeth, and like stick it on my hand. And be like, okay, new plan, and I'm going to cast bar a place or a person or portal. So
Caged teeth sticker. Go ahead and roll plus weird to use magic here. Let's see what you got.
all right, I got a 7.
A 7. Go ahead and pick a glitch while you're thinking about it.
You know
Ducky.
what? I already know. But
What do you
unless
got?
you want to go ahead and do Ducky.
No,
Just
please.
I want a weird side effect, so it's good.
Yes, I love a good weird side effect.
Yes.
We can see as Cricket goes to do this, you put out your hand and the sticker malfunctions. It does manage to bind a muzzle over the top of the meat monster's face, but your jaw locks into place. In order to concentrate on this spell, you will be unable to speak for the moment. You can still make noise and speak and be understood, but you can't open your jaw. You're like Jimmy from Ed, Edd n Eddy. You have that sort of like thing binding your teeth together.
That's so perfect.
Ducky, what do you got? As we see Cricket reach out, the sticker's magic now muzzling the meat monster. Fish begins to slap against its face. It's like, what do we see our curse eater do?
I think that when we left the cafeteria, Ducky threw the steak down. I think he realized it would not really help that much in this situation.
Sure.
But he grabbed whatever like bulk-sized packages of salt he could find and took that with him.
Ooh, trying to preserve this monster. We see, I think, since you don't have an oops or a move that gives you something like this, let's act under pressure here to see what kind of quantity of salt you can find.
All right, I got a 7.
A 7 is pretty good. We see a mixed success here, so I'll give you a couple of options. A worse outcome, a price to pay, or a hard choice. You can find some salt. It's good quality, and you certainly will be able to use it, but it probably won't be enough to preserve the whole monster. You'll have to figure out some way to target something specifically, or you can have all the salt you need right now, right here, but carrying it down to the docks will give you a -1 forward until you've used it.
I think I'll take the small amount, but good quality.
Excellent. A bag over your shoulder of preserving pickling and preserving salts. We see Ducky taking up the rear. What do you want to do with this bag when you get down to the docks?
I think once we get there, I think I would like to read a bad situation, because it seems pretty dire with the monster. Do we see Juno?
You can see Juno, free of the monster's grasp at this point, standing on the edge of the dock. Juno, what does Ducky see you doing as this scene unfolds before you, as Cricket's magic binds its mouth?
I think you see Juno scrambling to find bigger sources of electricity and like
Okay.
exposed
Nice.
wires of any sorts. Also just-
Wonderful. I love that. So we actually see Juno rummaging through some of the boats parked at the docks, probably, in order to get a battery big enough to make a real impact here. Juno, roll Act Under Pressure. That's what you see as you approach, Ducky. Juno is free of this grasp, but a fisherman is just swimming back towards the dock as his boat has been upended and thrown back into the bay. We see this creature starting to turn, and it sees the four of you and looks like it's readying itself to flee again. Ducky, what do you want to do?
I think Ducky's going to check in with Juno and be like, "Hey, are you okay? Like that seemed pretty intense back there."
I think I'm okay. Like maybe I gotta talk to my therapist about this. This is very, very not cool.
Guys, it's very important. Monster.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if Juno has any stress on her, and I want to pull that if it exists.
Oh, I think that's for sure, right? Juno, you're certainly experiencing some sort of distress, and I think that you can flavor it how you will. Are you in shock? Have you like what do we see? What does Ducky smell off of you? What emotions does he sense?
I think Ducky can just sort of get this like fight or flight response from Juno. You could tell that again she's very normal, so she doesn't want to like fight big meat monsters, but she also feels compelled to do something about it. So she's just very conflicted and scared.
That fear can be taken, or that that kind of I guess just sort of distress can be taken here. Ducky, what do you try to take?
I think Ducky's gonna try to pull the fear.
Interesting. All right. In this case, why don't we roll your dice to try to devour evil? Is that right?
Yeah.
Excellent.
I got a 4.
A 4. So you can mark 2 corruption here. As you take on the curse of this fear, what does the ring look like that manifests on your finger?
I think the ring that manifests is there's sort of like it feels very hollow. It feels very light, like it could crack at any moment. And I do think that the stone inside sort of like is dark. And if you look into it, it looks like you could just get pulled into a void.
We see a black onyx style, or almost an obsidian stone ring around the finger appear. And as you look down at it, Juno, you feel that sense of fear rise off your shoulders. The two of you look at each other for a moment, and then the meat monster strikes. We see as it lumbers into view behind you, it picks up a piece of the dock, and it's going to throw it at Cricket. It can somehow sense your magics are what's affecting it here. It pulls the docks and it goes to give it a throw. Morgan, did you have something you wanted to do?
Yes, I'd like to bounce it back.
Ooh, you can certainly try. Let's give it a roll. Are you going to try to use your telekinesis here?
Yes.
Excellent.
Hopefully
That's going to be
slap
plus
that guy in the
weird.
face with it.
Let's give it a roll. Telekinesis. When you fling something with your mind, roll plus weird.
13.
On a 10 plus, you
well.
move it. You're going to choose 2 options and mark 1 harm on a 10 plus, okay? So go ahead and mark that harm,
Okay.
and then your options are something is held fast, something is hurt, something catches fire, you can fling something bigger than a person, you keep it basically under control, or you suffer 1 less harm. I will say, the dock piece that it's throwing is bigger than a person. If you want to throw it, or back at it, you will need to choose that option.
I'm going to fling it back at him.
Solid.
Could I have done this as a big whammy?
You certainly can here. So you're going to fling something bigger than a person, and then I assume you're going to hurt this thing with a 2-harm smash. Is that a safe bet?
Yes, so it'll actually be 4 harm. Ignore.
And as a big whammy, you can use your powers to kick some ass. Your attack does 2 harm that ignores armor in addition to the 2 from the docks itself. The creature goes to throw this thing at you, at Cricket, and then we watch as it stops in midair. Cricket's just like inches from you. We see as you, and then it stops. You look up and you look over and see Morgan holding out 2 hands, focusing tightly. Now a harm has manifested. She's pale, and a trickle of blood comes out of her nose, and she throws this dock piece back at the creature. It clobbers it, and we watch as it breaks into a bunch of different meat pieces. And for just a second, you can almost see something at its core. Something there that doesn't look like the same gross, marbled, gray-red meat that the rest of this creature is made of. As you clobber it, what do you want to do?
I am going to use magic to basically summon the thing forward.
Nice.
Oh, I like that idea. Cricket,
Okay.
you're going to roll plus weird to use magic here. Do you have anything else you'd like to use?
Let me see what I have in my things. Let's see, third eye. No.
Could have been worse. Yeah, not really here, huh?
Not at the moment. You know, if I fail, then I might get more.
Great.
Okay, so Cricket is going to slap like a freaking what looks like a glowing green hand that looks kind of like a sticky hand on their palms, and they're going to like thrust them forward and go.
At the center of this, go ahead and roll plus weird. We see as you reach out your hand, and just like one of those sticky hands, it stretches out. Your whole arm goes like Mr. Fantastic. It reaches forward, claps onto something. What did you roll?
I got a 9.
A 9 is an effect with a glitch. What would you like to take for your glitch this time? For our viewers, a weakened, short duration, 1 harm, ignore armor, draws immediate unwelcome attention, or it has a problematic side effect.
Immediate unwelcome attention. Also, can I posit that I can speak again because it broke apart?
As you break it up, its mouth is no longer formed, so you do, in fact, break your concentration on that. That's a great call. What do you say?
I was like, freaking finally! Because we can't say the F word in here, kids.
I stand corrected. That was amazing.
A deep breath, and your jaw starts to loosen as you fling this hand out, and then you pull, and what looks like a human arm gets taken out of the meat for just a moment before it pulls itself back, and the meat reforms. The creature, and then it starts to bolt off towards town. Ducky,
man.
Ducky and Juno, you emerge from this boat, Juno, with an enormous boat battery in hand. This is some power, you're sure. And as you go to turn towards using it on the monster, it's gone. Shoot. You guys, as it starts to get away, you can see an easy, clear trail leading up towards the city. It seems to be heading for Central Park, or maybe downtown proper. Juno, Ducky, your actions here, what do the two of you want to do?
So are you trying to use this electricity on the meat monster?
I think so. It would have been nice if there was a lot of water around, but I think there's plenty of other sources in town. Maybe a telephone or one of those electric poles?
Hmm.
Okay, well, I guess for now we gotta chase after this thing because it's gotten away from us.
Yeah, we gotta keep it away from food. That's all I know for sure.
An astute observation, its hunger growing and its body growing much the same. We can see as it starts to lumber away, we see the four of you begin to take off after it. At this point, we can see as Ducky probably has the hunger here growling at the bottom of your belly. That creature looks delicious. The sides of it that have been cooked by Maggie's blowtorch look like you could shave them off and put them into a pita bread. Ducky, your hunger is truly gnawing at your being. What do we see as this curse begins to manifest in you? That corruption you've saved starting to boil to the surface.
I guess I'll unleash the corruption uncontrolled so I can use the power as well. And I think Ducky's going to sprint ahead after it.
Nice. At full sprint, bullet hands pumping. You are certainly the one who's closest on its tail. Morgan, at this point, you certainly wish you'd brought the car, and it's just too late. Your flats that you're wearing are terrible running shoes, but you take off, and all of our hunters are in pursuit of this thing. But it is Ducky who sees it as it stampedes into the Central Park. Roaring and shouting, it lifts up its hands, it breaks through one of these stalls and just starts to pull meats and vegetables. Suddenly it's eating everything it can get its hands on, not just the meats, but we see as you walk up, it's Bobbert Frank's stall. One of his workers is standing behind it. It's breaking into the meats, shoveling them into its maw, and we can see the girl behind the counter sort of reeling back. What's that thing? All of the farmers market's beginning to panic, and Ducky, you're first on the scene. What do you want to do here?
I think Ducky is going to start climbing the creature. If he saw a glimpse that there was somebody at the core, he's going to try to get a little bit higher and then just start pulling pieces of the meat monster off to like dig through to whatever was in there.
Sure. We can see as you start to dig in, are you trying to do harm, or are you more trying to kind of affect this creature in a certain way? Kick some ass or act under pressure.
Yeah, I think it might be more of an act under pressure. I think that as Ducky is tearing into the monster, I would like to unleash one of the corruptions controlled. So just using the power. I would like to try to strike fear into this monster's heart as well. I think Ducky's going to say, you're eating everything, but it's my turn to eat some of you too.
We can see as you go to start pulling things off, are you taking bites out of it?
I think not the raw meat parts, but maybe just throwing the salt in there to sort of cure some of it and just like pulling the bits off. I think the creature feels like it's being eaten though.
Feels like it's being consumed. It goes to turn back towards you. Let's see how successful you were with it. Roll plus cool.
I got an 8.
An 8 is a mixed success, so a hard choice or a price to pay, maybe a worse outcome here. Worse outcome is certainly going to be that as you take your first, if you take a bite of this, you'll start to feel that sickly feeling that the other zombies felt in our cold open. You'll start to feel the beginnings of a transformation, which for you might be a little bit different. You can handle those a little differently, but you will start to change. Or you can pay the price of just taking one harm to do what you're doing here successfully without any other consequence.
I think Ducky will take the harm, and he's digging in to try to get to whatever was at the core.
You can see now as you clutch further and further into the meats, bones, pieces of the food stuffs that it's gathered, the ladles, the knives, everything that it's collected as it's rampaged through town. You take one harm digging in. And as you do, you pull something out from one side, and you see something that feels a little bit like fabric. Your hand grasps for it, and for just a moment, you make contact with something here. Ducky, go ahead and roll to read a bad situation. As the rest of the hunters come up behind you into the park, it is chaos here. All over town, people are scurrying. We can actually see now they're starting to run into the students that are still left over. And we can see a zombie stuffing a sausage, mystery meat sausage, into the mouth of one of the other farmers market stall hands. The zombies are beginning to turn other people in the town around you. Ducky, what'd you roll?
I got a 7.
A 7. You get one question. What would you like to know?
From the read a bad situation, I think what's most vulnerable to me is trying to figure out what he can do in this situation.
Whatever's inside of there smells like it too could have something taken from it, much like you just took from Juno. In fact, as you realize this, there's somebody inside of that creature puppeting it or using it like a mascot suit. That person in there is certainly the most vulnerable to thing. And as you kind of like grasp this, the meat monster almost seems to turn in, like its whole body shifts in place. It doesn't actually move its feet, just the top half, like an owl's head, turns all the way around, and it goes down to take an enormous chomping bite out of you. Ducky, go ahead and roll to act under pressure for me.
Okay.
I got a 14.
Oh, nice.
How do you dodge this attack? It's going to be a grievous blow.
I think Ducky is gonna dive inside the hole that he was digging and like towards the fabric that he was pulling, so that if it's like a tidal wave, you like jump into the water to escape.
We can see as you dive into the water, into the meat, it starts to move around you like it is a fluid. It's so large that it closes in and it does crush you for some damage. You will take 1 harm here, and to the outside, it looks like you've just been consumed by the beast. The other 3 hunters walk up or sprint up into the central park. You can see all around the stalls are chaos. The market has been upended. What do the 3 of you want to do as this thing seemingly consumes Ducky?
I want to try to pull it apart. Just like
Telekinetically.
wrench it apart. Yeah.
First and foremost, we see you step to the fray. Morgan, go ahead and roll plus weird for us.
Okay, I was gonna look at Cricket and say, "Do you think you can help me with this?" I'm gonna try
Sure.
to rip it apart. There's someone in there, and someone else. So okay.
Cricket, a quick cool roll to see if you can add 1.
All right, I'll see what I can do.
Plus 0 to cool.
That is a 9.
That is still good. Nice. You are going to expose yourself to danger, but you will give +1 to the roll, which turns that to a perfect success, Danae. As you orient your telekinesis towards it, we see your hands clutch outwards, that scarlet flash over the eyes. Your fingers get tight, and you begin to pull like you're stretching something out. As this creature starts to pull apart, we can see that in the center of it, grappling like the 2 of them are locked hand in hand, is a woman with dark and eyes aflame with fury. She's wearing a dark robe. She seems to be floating somewhat off the ground, and she shouts at Ducky's face, "Get off of me!" And then we see as lightning shoots from her fingers and sends Ducky scattering across and tumbling through one of the stalls. Ba-dum, dum, 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 dum. We see Ducky fall, and the stall that's broken around you, as you say, we see as you pick something up, and it's a broken carrot. The snap was not a bone, Ducky. Morgan, as you pull this apart, the 3 of you all see this person all at once. And it is, I'm going to say, probably Juno who gets to roll and investigate a mystery here, unless Cricket wants to roll it, or maybe both. Do both of you want to roll to investigate a mystery? Figure out who this is and what's happening.
I think what Cricket's gonna do is Cricket is going to use magic to bring her to kind of trap her where she is, where she can't use anything.
Okay, awesome.
And
another
then,
sticky hand, perhaps?
Yeah, it's like a green sticky hand. They just stick them on, and then they come out and like grab her. And I feel like that'll be also. If I can posit that this is also a help out move for Juno at the same time.
Ooh, okay. So we'll say that instead of a we'll go with help out, but we'll roll plus weird. So what you're trying to do is keep her from reforming in the meat suit to get away until Juno has a chance to say.
I got a 9 plus 2. That's 11.
1 to your roll there, Juno. Please roll plus sharp. You may be muted if you don't know. We see our searcher and our spell slinger standing at the edge. Juno, you get a good look at her. What'd you get?
I got an 11.
11
Nice.
gets you 2 questions. What would you like to know here? First and foremost, you know her from around town. She's familiar, but she's new, like you. You're not exactly sure who she is. What would you like to know?
I feel like was being concealed here is my best option.
This time you went into one of the shops in town. You saw her face, and you're trying to figure out where it was, and then it falls into place. The jigsaw puzzle settling into its exact perfect nestled nook. This is Ellicrust's wife, who's also a witch, who's also helping run a failing business. And then you turn and see this Bob's Butchery stall at the farmer's market. It is the only one whose source has been consumed so far. This monster went straight to that stall. You have one more question here. You know that it's Ellicrust's wife. What else would you like to know?
I think, what else can she do?
This woman is a witch, and she has power enough to be wielding this, to be shooting lightning out at Ducky, to send them flying, to manipulate this monster, but she also likely has the ability to create this curse in the first place. As you think about it, you realize that something you saw in the kitchen earlier, something that you didn't really clock as a problem then, was that the kitchen had all sorts of weird, strange supplies in it. Unlabeled bottles of spices and powders and bits and bobs. If this woman was there when Gretchen Baubles was not, she could have used all of those materials to make this happen. You get the sinking sensation. She is at the heart of this curse. Juno, what do you say? What do you do to tell your teammates?
You can see Juno's face kind of like light up. She's having that light bulb moment. And she looks over to Cricket and Morgan. She's like, it's all coming together. She was the one who made the mystery meat and the delivery at the school. She's Ella's Crust's wife? She's trying to sabotage Bobbert.
Mrs. Crust, this isn't the way to go about this.
You don't know the way. This is the only way to save my wife's business. She floats up into the air. The storm above begins to crackle with lightning. She lifts her fingers up, and as she does, between them curls like a Tesla coil, little bits and bobs of electricity. She lurches out towards the three of you. She says, "You won't stop me now!" And out lightning comes from her fingers.
Can I summon her wife?
Oh my gosh! You wanna get this woman in trouble? I love it.
Yeah, call her wife.
We see as Cricket scatters off to the side, magic in hand. You're gonna try to summon her wife. What sticker are you gonna use to do that?
They pull out like a typical like summoning circle sticker, and they actually put it on their phone as they flip it open to call her wife.
You ring up the Mills. You ring up the Mills Meats Butcher Shop, and as you call up, we hear the phone begin to pick up, and then as if she's being sucked into the receiver, we watch as Ellicrust says, "Hello?" and then she's through the phone, and she's being extruded like ground beef from the grinder from your phone. At first, she sort of assembles into a pile and then sort of reconstructs, and she looks around. She's got the landline with a cord half attached to her, and she's holding it in her hand. She just lets it drop. What in the world
Sorry about
is
that? It's not my best spell.
What did you just do to me? She says.
Cricket just kind of like snaps their fingers like, hey. We'll explain it later. Your wife is causing some problems. I think you need to talk to her.
Yeah, I can't hold this much longer.
Yeah, we see her turn, and as you go to say that, Morgan, actually, we see as she launches a lightning bolt towards you, in order to try to get her magic back on her. Now you understand why she has such a keen sense for who is casting. This mindless meat monster has been puppeted all along. Morgan, what would you like to do? You can fight back, you can try to avoid this blow. What do we see our spooky do?
Hold on. I'm not letting go of the... I'm not letting go. She's more powerful with that on her than she is without it, so...
In that case,
Can I try to protect Morgan?
Yeah, I was about to say, someone may need to protect our spooky. Ducky, what do you do to do that?
I think Ducky's gonna try to unleash the surge of energy from the hunger earlier to get
Nice.
between Morgan and the lightning strike. And I think Ducky will... I don't know if you would allow me to consume the lightning strike as a curse. But if not, Ducky will try to
Interesting.
just body shield and take the blow.
In this case, I have a couple of options for you. You do have the reach move, so you can unleash your corruption at range if you'd like to do it that way. You don't have to dive necessarily in front of the lightning to do it. Or if you're going to try to sort of absorb the lightning energy, you can just devour harm. Instead of taking it from Morgan, you take it from the attack. Which would you prefer?
Let's try that. Yeah, let's jump up in front of her and devour the harm.
All right, in that case, as you do, we see you dive in front of it and mark 1 corruption. You can go ahead and add that in to take this. However, you will take half the harm they suffered. This lightning attack comes in and basically starts to cook you from without. We see the lightning, you curl up like Prince Zuko diving in front of Katara, and then you hit the ground smoking and smoldering. Ducky, you've taken 2 harm. Morgan, you are still holding the meat monster at bay, but these pieces are now beginning to crawl across the ground towards you, and as you look around, you can see that all over this battlefield, meat zombie teenagers are beginning to converge. Juno, you're the last to act here before we see if Ella Crust can help. Well, what does our searcher want to do?
I think if she can, she's gonna try to pin Elle's wife, you know?
Michelle Crust floats up into the air. You want to try to pin her. How? Physically?
Physically, because she has no magic. She has had some judo classes under her belt since she's moved in. So, she would like to try to wrestle her out of the air.
A self-defense weapon on the searcher's sheet, martial arts training, allows you to do 1 harm, hand, and innocuous, meaning that you can sneak up on her, and there's no way that she would know you're doing it. Since you're coming from behind, let's go ahead and roll to kick some ass here. See if you can deal that 1 damage you're looking to deal.
Okay, that is... I'm more so trying to just stop her, not quite beat her up or anything.
Okay. In that case, we could go with an act under pressure instead if you'd like.
That would be great.
Wonderful.
I rolled an 8.
An 8 is good. A mixed success here. Worse outcome, hard choice, or a price to pay. I'll say that you can dive in here and try to grapple her, but your price to pay you'll never be able to look at meat the same ever again. Or you can dive in here and grapple her, but you'll take 1 harm from the crackling static around her body. What would you like to do?
I think she's gonna be a vegan for the rest of her life.
A permanent character choice made by this moment. You can smell as you tackle into her. She is coated in the gross juices of this mystery meat. And as you grab on 1 limb, pull the other, get her into a tight hold, and tackle her to the ground, it smells so bad. You'll never look at meat the same way again. Juno, describe it for us. How are you holding her when Cricket and Ella Crust approach?
I think she's... I don't know these judo terms, but she's just in like this triangle hold or what have you. And she's just trying to tell her like, there has to be a more honest way of doing business. Like, you can't destroy the whole town just for the sake of meat.
For the sake of meat.
How are you doing this without getting queasy? This is so gross.
Pulled. We see as Cricket and the Butcher begin to approach, and Elle looks down at Michelle and she's like, Michelle, what are you doing here? Did you do this? And Michelle, like, twisted up like a pretzel. Like, we literally don't know whose limbs are whose at this point. They're so tangled up. You guys are literally a knot. One leg kind of kicks and its little foot twitches from one side. The other hand kind of like pulls at the grass. And the two of you are literally just so intertwined. You're like a knot, a rubber band ball of limbs. And she looks up at her. Oh, no, not my wife. I'm sorry, Elle. You weren't supposed to see this. I'm trying to help. And Elle looks down at her. She looks at Cricket. She says, "Are all of these teenagers how you're trying to help?" And Michelle looks up. She says, "Yeah, they're hungry for meat. Of course they're going to come to our shop more. Don't you understand?" And then as she does, she says, "It'd be a lot easier to talk if I wasn't all tied up." And she shocks Juno. Juno, since you're so tied up, you can't do anything here. You're going to take 2 harm. Does anybody want to try to protect our searcher?
Hey,
Yeah.
I feel like
You
ahead.
can.
before you help,
Go ahead,
Yeah.
Juno.
I feel like Juno is, because she's convulsing, she's tightening the grip. Just like even worse. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, interesting. I think we're still going to need a cool roll here for this one to try to keep your hold. That's going to be +0 for Juno.
Let's see. Can I try to take some like the harm off of her and like shoot it into the ground?
Sure. You want to spread that out? Go ahead and roll to protect someone here, Cricket. Your
All right.
tough is -1. Good
It
luck.
is not good, tough.
Hey, you and me both.
8. It's 8 minus 1, so 7.
All right. And did you manage to keep your hold here, Juno?
Yes.
What did you roll?
I rolled a 3, so not great.
Ooh, tough cookies. We are going to take a hard move here. Cricket, did you say you wanted to do something else?
Yes. So what they're doing is like they slap a sticker on that looks like a metal pole, and they stick it
Lightning
on.
rod.
They stick their hand on Juno's shoulder, and then like put the other one towards the ground as the lightning pulses through them and like shoots into the ground.
Ooh. Very nice. We see as she goes to shock Juno, one of the hands crawling up and placing a hand on our searcher's errant limbs, and the electricity crackles through the ball, but Cricket, just in time, a hand placed, a clever lightning rod sticker. The 1 harm to each of you goes, or Cricket, you can either take 1 and give Juno 1, or you can take 2 yourself. How would you prefer to do it?
Juno, how are you looking on your?
Good question.
How are you looking health wise, dear?
I don't think too bad. I think she's only taken like 1 so far, right? Yeah.
Okay, so then we'll share 1 because I've taken on 2 so far, so I'm
Split
at
it up.
3.
Wonderful. We see 1 to each of you as you the grass dies. A crackle of lightning goes into the ground, and all around your hand, like you've placed it and siphoned the life from these things, the lightning crackles through the blades and browns them in an instant. We see as Morgan drops finally, and all the meat that's around you begins to sort of like, it looks up. We even see one of those little sausage eyes turns to look at you, Morgan, and the zombies that are coming from all angles reach for you. We see as a crowd of meat-hungry teens converge on Ducky and Morgan. What do the 2 of you want to do?
I think Ducky is going to use his last fear corruption, and I think he's going to fire it towards our friendly witch.
Great.
Not the friendly witch, I guess. And this isn't so much a verbal cue, but I think that he wants to strike the fear into her heart that what she's doing to help will destroy her relationship. Try to get her to stop this herself.
Wow. You can use reach here to do it at range, so go ahead and I think it's going to have to be an act under pressure here to see if it works as intended.
I got a 10.
Nice. Very cool. What does it look like when this ring breaks and the curse goes crossed, the fear settling into Michelle Crust?
I think from Ducky, it's very subtle. He sort of does the handgun, firing from shoot from the hip kind of move. So there isn't much attention on him, but I think for her, there's this sort of shock and realization in her heart that strikes her.
We see her face fall. And as she does, we have one more moment here where, as they're starting to converge on you, Morgan, how do you want to try to protect yourself and the Curse Eater? Well, he's firing finger guns at the other people.
Morgan throws her arms out and is going to try to hold them away, especially from Ducky.
We see as you are going to try to protect someone here, but it sounds like you're going to do it with Weird. Is that correct?
Yeah, and I don't know if I want to hurt these kids. Nah, I don't want to hurt the kids. Yeah, so, yeah, just try to telekinetically just hold them back. Kind of like she did the meat.
All right, plus Weird to try to transfer your powers here to there, or there to here. Let's see what you got.
2 4s, 8 plus 3, 11?
11, very nice. We see as you a forceful wave comes from both of your hands, and all of these teens go sprawling backwards. And then we see as lifting her hands, finally pulling herself out of it, Ella helps as Michelle and Juno get extracted from each other. Our searcher kind of dusting herself off, Cricket helping you to your feet. Michelle looks at the lot of you. Elle, I don't want to lose you. I'm sorry. I was just trying to help. And Elle shakes her head. She says, fix this now. And as our witch lifts into the air, she starts to cast a spell, her hands weaving through the arcane strands of magic beginning to form. What must have done be undone. Let us be back to normal. And all of us enjoy meets a little bit less in the coming days. And as the magic goes out, we see all these teens immediately on the ground begin to gain some of their color, their eye color beginning to return to normal. We can see as if it is from the spell itself, the meat that's all on the ground immediately begins to sort of turn and curdle and fade into the grass, melting like it was never meat at all. It turns into a gelatinous fat and buries down into the ground, sinking out of sight. Michelle floats down and looks at the 4 of you and at her wife and says, I'm sorry. I just wanted to help. And then we see Bobbert Franks and Sheriff Dana Collins storm into the park, and Bobbert says, That's it. That's her right there. I want her arrested for destruction of property and trying to get me accused of affecting these children.
Mr. Bob?
Can we cast a spell to erase their minds?
I think we could try. Let's start with Morgan. Morgan, what do you say to Bobbert?
Sorry.
Unless you want me to call the FDA or the health people for spitting in your hand several times in my presence in your shop, I suggest you let this go.
Go ahead and roll to manipulate someone here.
God.
I've a plus charm. You have a 1 to your roll.
Okay, that's going to be a 9.
A 9 will.
And Ducky help.
Ducky, give it some help. What do you say to help out here?
I think Ducky was like, yeah, and I saw that with my own eyes. I'm a witness. That was terrible.
Roll plus cool. Bobbert definitely doesn't want to lose your business, Ducky.
Got a 9.
A 9 will do it. You will expose yourself to some harm or danger, and what I'll say is that the feeling in your gut is still curdling. We actually see Ducky say that and then go queasy green, and you know you're going to have to take care of that. But we see as Bobbert looks and says, I don't want to lose your business, Ducky. You're my best customer. Oh, Morgan, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have spit in my hand. I want my hair to look good, you know? And then we see as the wind comes by and blows his toupee off, and he sees as it flaps in the wind a shiny, bald pate, and embarrassed eyes, cheeks crimson. He skirts from the park in shame. And then we see Sheriff Collins look from him to you and him to you. And Cricket, we see Sheriff Collins is still thinking about arresting Michelle Crust. What do you want to do here? Do you want to erase his memories?
Cricket's gonna like, take out a small little sticker that looks like, a smiling brain, and they kind of just like put their arm around Dana and like kind of like tap it to the back of his head and be like, Sheriff, it was so unfortunate that all that meat gotten spoiled. I don't really know who did it. It was just really weird, a really weird phenomenon. But if everything's good, no one was to blame. Strange things happen here. You know that. I know that. Some things you just can't explain. And I rolled a 9.
A 9. Okay. We see as you go to do this, you do get a glitch or side effect. What would you like here?
Let's say. I wonder if I should just use my 1 luck to do a 12.
Why not? We only get 1. They don't carry over. You want to use it here?
Yeah, may as well. I will just. They're just super convincing.
Pop that sucker to a 12. We see the luck go wide. The brain sticker on his back. We see the sheriff just sort of look concerned for a few seconds longer, and then that concern starts to fade, and the wrinkles that pull at the corner of his eyes start to smooth, and a smile just peeks up at the corners. And as he looks around, he's like, you're right, Cricket. It could have been a lot worse. I mean, these kids are okay, and who knows what actually happened here. We should probably get things figured out before the CDC arrives. And then we see a helicopter go overhead, and it has the logo on it of the CDC. We see a bunch of people in hazmat suits, and the sheriff just like, oh, shoot. Well, everybody go back to your lives, all right? This is over here. There's nothing to see here. And he starts to put his hands out and shoo them, Michelle included in the crowd, as he starts to shoo her away as if he does not recognize that she was part of the problem. Hunters, we've come to the end of our mystery. You've succeeded in stopping the meat monster and the meat zombie plague. Your last moments can either be here in the park or anywhere else in Havensmill that you'd like. Each of you should take 1. Let's start with Cricket. Cricket, successful in keeping Michelle Crust from getting arrested. Do you want to take your final moments here?
Yep. Cricket just kind of like stretches, looks around, and thinks about I should probably go check on. What, Billy? Yeah, check on Billy.
Back at the shop.
And they meander back towards him.
Yeah, back at the shop, we can see a line out the door, and we can hear Billy saying Jennifer? Jennifer? Is there a Jennifer for a plain white? It's just milk in a cup, right? Jennifer?
No.
Cricket comes in behind the counter, shoos Billy on the side. Does anybody take their moments in the park before we go?
Yeah, I'm gonna go. Go ahead. Go. Then I'll go.
Okay. Ducky is starting to feel a little sick, so he's just throwing up in the corner. That's all.
We see
Ducky,
in a bush. We just see you duck your head into a bush, and then we see you come back out green, totally green in the face. Just that that queasy expression. But you feel a little better already. There's more to come. Morgan?
Ducky, we're going to get you some more ginger tea. And I'm going to walk over to Michelle and
Ella. Yeah, the crusts.
Michelle, I'm very disappointed in your behavior today. I had already told your wife that we could do some advertising at my store. And as I said, there's better ways to handle things, but I'm going to be watching you, and I see things that others don't. So please don't step out of line.
Ella nods, and then she pulls something out of her back. She has like a small satchel on her back that hangs down with some tools and a couple of other things, and there's a paper wrapped book. She hands it back to you, and she says, "That's probably a better idea if I don't give her this for her birthday."
Probably.
We see the two of them go off, and you grab Ducky, and you're headed back to get some ginger tea into our curse eater. We turn to Juno. Juno, where do you take your final scene of the evening?
I think Juno, before she leaves the park, winces at Ducky, just don't feel great about Ducky just as he's vomiting, but she takes it as a cue to leave, as there's still meat bits, I'm sure, around.
Yeah, you're looking around, and it's like it's making you a little bit nauseous. You're just like, ugh, ugh.
And she makes her way back to the apartment, closes the door, and just slides down. Tish on the ground, and she just breathes a sigh, and is just like, Tia Sarita, I don't know how you do this. This is so much. And she stands up and walks over to this small little coffee table where she does some of her writing, and she starts journaling.
And for the first time all day, you really feel the words start to go. We hear the clack of your keyboard, and we see the light reflected on your face as you start writing. Your writer's block taken care of by all of the strange occurrences of the day. Well done, hunters. That's another mystery solved here in Haven's Mill, folks. Our heroes have saved the day once again, proving that friendship, courage, a little bit of cartoon logic, even the scariest monsters can be defeated. The best part about Saturday morning cartoons, you can be a part of the adventure too. So, mystery solvers, we're always looking for new heroes to join our team. Whether you're a seasoned investigator or this is your first time seeing the supernatural, there's a place for you in Haven's Mill. Check out the links in the bio below and sign up for your own Saturday morning adventure. Or if you're in the mood for something a little bit more campy and gritty, you can join us for Dust and Shadows tomorrow, high noon, Central. Same great Monster of the Week action, but with spurs instead of sneakers. Now, until next time, keep asking questions, keep helping your neighbors, and remember, in a world full of monsters, sometimes the real magic is just being brave enough to care. I'm going to go spend some time with my players. Thank you for watching. We're really grateful to have you. Have a great day. See you next time.